When it comes to performance, quality parts matter. Napa Auto Parts has all the reliable parts, tools, and more to keep your vehicle running like a playoff contender. With over 85 locations in Alberta, visit your local Napa store today or shop online at napacanada.com. That's Napa Know-How.
The Lawnmower Hospital.
You've enjoyed a long winter with your Ego snowblower, but now it's the time to get ready for spring. Bring your summer Ego equipment in for service. Or if you're looking to add to your lawn care fleet with new mowers or trimmers, Ego has a wide selection of products to fit every season. Ego also has the powerful wet-dry vacuum and pressure washer to make your cleaning and lawn care a breeze.
We're more than repairs. We're more than mowers. The Lawnmower Hospital.
Wendy's, get a 10-piece nugget small combo for just $8.99. That's right, $8.99 for 100% Canadian chicken, plus fries and a drink. That's just good nuggenomics. Only until June 14th, in restaurant at participating Wendy's locations. Taxes extra.
Donations to the War Amps have a lasting impact on amputees. Today, your support gives them the artificial limbs needed for everyday activities. This helps them prepare for tomorrow on their road to independence. To learn how your donation helps, visit waramps.ca.
Sports 1440, Stingray Radio Station. CKJR broadcasts from West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin.
Download the free Stingray music app and listen wherever you go.
Have your sports curiosity cured.
Second of the game for Eaters. The Carolina Canes win game 2. 3 minutes, 29 seconds into overtime.
A veteran of the sports reporting game for over 25 years.
SGA runs 2. Wallace, no. Sandwich for the rebound. Kendrick Williams in there. Tries to secure it. Still loose, still time. Spurs do have Purcell on Binyama. I think he's going to go. I think he's going to go from midcourt.
Breaking down Edmonton's favorite teams.
He won't operate or he just can't go because of the.
This is Sports 1440 and the Kevin Karius Show.
All right, here we go for Saul. 672, Monday, May the 25th. Man, we're smoking hot today with some great temperatures this week. Starting today, it's going to be great in the City of Champions. Hey, good morning. So glad you're with us on the Kevin Karius Show on Sports 1440 on your AM radio dial on your morning drive on a Monday morning, wherever you're heading out. Really appreciate you spending some time with us here. You can also watch us on YouTube at Sports 1440 AM. Drop us a like, a subscription. We would appreciate that. We're also on X, Facebook, Instagram, even Twitch. As always, we are streaming on the many services that are out there on iHeartRadio, the TuneIn app, even on sports1440.ca. If you miss any part of the show, you can find them where all the podcasts hang out on, well, they're on Apple, they're on Spotify, they're on Google, they're on Amazon. Please subscribe. It's free. Select the auto download. You'll never miss a second of any show. Yeah, so glad you're with us here on a Monday morning. And now I was just looking at the forecast for the weekend. We're looking at 28 today, 28 tomorrow, 24 on Wednesday. So really good temperatures. And finally, spring's here, summer's here, the whole kit and caboodle. We're pretty excited about that. And what about what's going on in the NHL with the Vegas Golden Knights? Holy smokes. They're a win away from heading to the Stanley Cup final. Hey, it's Monday. That means our co-host is in, just as he is on Fridays. Eddie Steele, Grey Cup champion from 2015, all-decade team with the double E, plus all-century team in U Sports history. One of the top players at the University of Manitoba ever. Good morning, Eddie.
Good morning, KK. You know
what?
I'm not there, though. University of Manitoba, they call it D-Line U. They got Izzy Adonijay, many years in the NFL. David Onyemata, many years in the NFL. I'm just a guy. I'm a Jag.
So who's the fourth best? If you're the third, if you just mentioned those two guys ahead of you, who's the fourth best?
Oh,
so you're saying you're number three?
Donio, you remember Donio?
Yeah.
He had a really successful pro career.
Yeah.
But there was a defensive tackle named Simon Patrick. He was an Edmonton guy.
Really?
And he was on our Vanier team. And he came from the Wildcats. So he was a mature player.
Okay.
And if we're talking just purely, U Sport football,
Yeah.
he was a 3-time All-Canadian. Like, he was the best defensive tackle in all U Sport. He was older, though, right? So he couldn't have that CFL shot, a little unathletic. But I've never seen a dude. He was a farmer. He'd take two guys, one in each hand like this, Kevin. I'm not kidding. And just hold them.
He's
Just
that
hold
big,
them.
eh?
I've
This
never
strong.
seen anything like it.
So he had the the old man strength
That's
in
it.
university.
That's exactly. And keep in mind, he was an old man. He was 27 playing against 20-year-olds.
So did he play junior football?
Yeah,
before?
exactly. Out here. Yeah. Like
And then-
Wildcats, and then came. So full
Right.
5 junior and then full 5.
I
U of M.
remember that. I can't picture him.
Yeah, he was a stud.
Yeah.
Simon Patrick.
Simon Patrick. So
Mhm.
Edmonton guys, is he back here in Edmonton?
I believe so.
Hmm.
Yeah, I believe so.
Well, maybe we'll get him on the show.
The
Eddie.
Alberta region. Yeah, I got to look him up now that we get talking about
Well,
him.
yeah. So he's number 4.
So I idolized him when I was
Yeah.
a young pup. I did. Yeah, he'd be number 4 though. He's behind me now.
Text line 833-401-1440. Like right off the hop, we're talking about the Vegas Golden Knights beating Colorado last night 5-3. BC Oilers text in. How can anyone be happy about this distasteful Vegas team potentially winning the Stanley Cup this year? I don't know how to respond to that because there aren't many people cheering for Vegas. I can tell you that right now.
Did you see a 3-0 potential sweep coming?
Well, yeah,
What?
for Colorado.
Yeah, right? Gee
You know.
whiz, man.
So they're a win away. Nathan McKinnon took that shot, missed some time, came back, wasn't the same. I don't know what to say about like Colorado right now. They're a team that's all of a sudden in a span of less than a week lost themselves. Like, because everyone was like, when everyone was talking about them playing against Minnesota, they were like, man, these guys are
They're on it.
They are. They're not missing anything. They're playing so hard, but now they're like a one more game from being swept
Out of here. And a couple nicks, so that doesn't help. Some nicks and bruises.
The car came back, but still, he doesn't look like he's supposed to be looking.
Very well said. They lost themselves. It's weird because what Vegas is doing to them, they're flat. They just don't got it right now.
Mm-hmm. So, how does this happen, Eddie? Okay, like say if you're when you were playing for the Double E, and you guys were, say you had a 2 or 3 game winning streak, all of the sudden, it just turns around and you can't win.
Just
What
in
is
a rut? Yeah. Biggest thing with it all is confidence, right? It's the mind. It's not so much the physical, it's the mind. And you get into a place that it's hard to get out of.
Yeah.
And then once Vegas has this confidence, even when they're down, I didn't think that they were going to come back, but you see that Mark Stone goal and boom, here they come. You can
He
feel
comes
the
back,
wave.
yeah.
He comes back. Savvy vet contributing.
But it's one of those things, again, when you look at it and you go to like getting back to Colorado, like you watched them against Minnesota and you went, man, these guys are.
I think they're in their head. Yeah. Yeah. I think more than anything, of course, everybody's hurt at this point in time. So I'm not even going to talk about the physical because everybody's dealing with something. It's the head. It's the confidence. It's a mentality. I don't know how it can go from such a high to such a low for a team that was so dominant in the year. I haven't looked it up, but I don't know what's the season. Maybe Duke or Fenny can check this out. The season record between the season series between the two clubs, but I don't think Vegas dominated Colorado throughout the year this way. So it's very curious to me how all of a sudden, I just hate how it makes Vegas look so good. With Torts coming in, that move, how they did Cassidy with 8 games left. It's all working for them, and I don't like it.
That's the whole thing. Like, and then you throw in this Bruce Cassidy thing and you think about all the stuff that this organization has done. It's not supposed to be like this. If you are what organization,
Karma's not coming right now.
To turn against you.
Exactly. So now you get McCrimmon. I guess wait till the playoffs are over to talk because they got bigger things at hand. They're in the Cup Finals.
Because everyone thought, okay, well, you can probably start addressing this after this Colorado round because you're going to lose.
They're in the finals now.
They're in the finals. Well, we got to,
let's not put the cart before the horse, but in reality, 3-0.
Lane text in, Eddie, Simon Patrick is my buddy, boys. Lane. Lane, we
Sweet.
played at the ranch there last year, Lane, was it? Or 2 years ago? Was it? Last
That
year?
was
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
that was that lane?
Yeah, last year, I guess it was. Yeah.
Ah.
833-401-1440 text line. Let's welcome in the Duke of Delburne 709. That was last year, Duke?
Twas.
You guys think I was really foot wedging that day.
yeah,
I don't know what you're talking. I just don't hit off roots. I don't hit off
The
roots.
infamous foot wedge.
I don't hit off roots, guys.
Played at the ranch with Lane.
Who wants to bust their club up on a tree root?
One.
Let me just tap it out of here for a sec.
Unbelievable.
All of a sudden, 6 shots later, par.
Are you going to reveal, Eddie, what you played like on Friday when you were leaving here for the Derek? I guess it was, eh?
It was a substantial round.
Substantial. What does that mean? Does that mean like a lot?
That means there's a lot to it.
No, it wasn't meaty. Like, I tell you what, here's true fact. And now the Derek, it's a little bit looser, a little more forgiving for sure, I would say. But one ball whole way through. No lost balls.
Doesn't matter if you hit it 110 times, though.
I didn't go 110.
It's tough to lose a ball when you're only smacking it 10 feet in front of you.
Duke, get out of here. Hard left.
Duke, how much is this killing you not being able to golf or do
Yeah,
anything?
it's tough.
It's coming.
It really came to a head, I think, on Saturday afternoon. The Tropics, my beer hockey team, beer league team, we had our year-end wind up, and it was pretty simple. 4 rounds booked out at the ranch, 4 tee times, and then just heading out for some drinks and some food afterwards. I met up with the boys later on in the day once they made it over to Happy Beer Street and found a place to cozy in. But just by the time I met up with everyone, they were well on their way. So I was just thinking about how much fun they were having out on the course. Beautiful day. Started at noon, 18 holes. Sounded like it was great. So yeah, I was pretty jealous. But that's life. You can't have it all.
Well, you can have some, though.
Couple months, you'll be just doing the upper body swing. You'll be good. You'll be good.
It's the summer's over for him.
Summer hasn't even started yet. It's not even June yet. Come on,
but these temps, Duke, they gotta be killing you because I'm playing Wednesday.
The way the weather has turned is putting another extra, whatever the opposite of a cherry on top of the cake is, an extra turd in the bowl, I suppose, is it's so nice outside, and I can't even realistically so much as go out and just go for a walk in the neighborhood because the pain is still substantial, exceptional. For Saturday night, we started at the one brewery, and then as it progressed, then we'll go check out another spot. This one's kind of getting it was actually unbelievably rowdy at Odd Company is the name of it. It was the first time they'd ever done it. They opened up basically into the parking lot like an extended patio. When we pulled up at 7:30, there had to be several hundred people there and lined up outside. It was clearly something that I suppose they advertised, and the waitress said, yeah, it was the first time they'd done it. But anyway, so it was a hopping scene. We went to find somewhere just a little quieter to hang out and chop it up. And it was I don't know, maybe a 5-ish minute walk. And yeah, by the time I got there, I was hurting pretty bad.
It was throbbing.
Oh yeah.
Get him a couple shots.
Yeah. Poor Duke. On Saturday, the Double E with a big win in BC, 34-16. We're going to have Jordan Maximic on to lead things off. A little change of pace. We'll have Alan Mitchell a bit later in the show, but I didn't watch any of the game. It was
full
streamed,
disclosure, neither did I.
I don't. I just can't. I don't.
Well, it was hard. I mean, Saturday midday.
Yeah,
it was pretty prime time. I had some family in town too. Yeah. My pops was in town, so yeah, we were busy with the kids.
Yeah. So anyway, but that's a good start.
Very good start. Have you checked any of the stat lines?
Yeah, I actually, right now I got them punched up right here, Eddie.
Yeah, man. There's some good looking numbers.
Yeah, I mean
QB2.
Taylor Powell was 13 of 14, so very efficient. Had 1 touchdown, threw 1 pick. Zabrowski he was 3 for 3 with a touchdown. Cole Snyder 5 for 7 and a touchdown. Cody Pichardo just threw the ball 6 times and was 2 for 6. So we're going to talk to Jordan Maximic about how he thought the offense looked and things like that. Rashawn Baker had 8 carries for 47 yards. So I guess the question to you, Eddie, when you go into a game like this. And you got a lot of it's a lot of guys, you're trying to get guys in and out. So
for sure.
The one, remember that word we were talking about on Friday, rhythm. So it's hard. So how do you try to find the rhythm, I guess?
That's why you see the offensive output, and it doesn't matter the numbers in overall, because nobody's, we talk about QB number 2. He's not taking, Powell's not taking Fajardo's job right now. This is Fajardo's team going into the season. But why it's nice is 343 passing yards total between everybody, 110 yards rushing total. That's over 400 yards. That's 450 yards of offense. That's the rhythm.
Isaiah Knight had 32 on the ground.
Yeah, and we spoke to him, right? That's awesome.
It's cool.
Yeah, averaged 4 point something. But that rhythm, to be able to have that many different bodies, a rotating cast in at quarterback, receiver, O-line, running back, all the different positions, and still have that type of output, 450, that's like what you want from, you'd be loving that if you had that from your starting offense game in, game out. Exactly. So to get that from everybody's on the same page. Clearly, the coaching is getting across to the players, and they're comprehending it. And it's all really positive signs to see, man, regardless of preseason or not, because top down from the coaching staff to the players, they're doing what we need to see be done.
Yeah. Got to mention, too, in the NBA last night, San Antonio beat OKC 103-82, a season low for points by the OKC Thunder. Wemby had 33 points, so that series is 2-2. Also, the Knicks can close out their series with Cleveland tonight, up 3-0. All of a sudden, the Knicks are they're winning.
That one's
winning.
over.
Yeah, they're winning and winning and winning. So, and the Toronto Blue Jays lost to Pittsburgh 4-1. They open a series against the Florida Marlins tonight. So coming up on the big program, a little change of pace on a Monday morning. Jordan Maksimic, Edmonton Elks offensive coordinator, will join us right after the break. We got Mark Spector at 8 o'clock in his usual time slot. Another tough weekend for Spec, I could imagine, down at the lake, Eddie?
Just over at Spec's deck.
Yeah, doing nothing. Painting.
Painting. I knew he had a chore.
He wouldn't have done anything. Like, let's be honest.
Cheapskate.
No, if he were real cheap, he'd hire someone. Come on now.
Fair enough.
Alan Mitchell will check in at 9:20 instead of 7:20. So a little bit later for low tide. We got an edition of Cam and Eggs at 9:40. Nick Ashburn, Blue Jays Happy Hour, will check in at 10 o'clock. Again, the Jays lose 4-1 to the Pittsburgh Pirates. They'll open a series against Miami tonight. Kristen Chilton, the NHL on ESPN, will chime in at 10:20. When we come back, Jordan Maksimic, Edmonton Elks offensive coordinator, on the Kevin Carey Show with Eddie Steele, the Duke of Delburne, and Josh Fenwick on Sports 1440 AM radio. We're streaming on YouTube, X, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitch.
With Play Alberta, backing the home team goes beyond the bets. That's because your picks have provincial impact. Play Alberta is the only app in the province that puts all revenue directly back into supporting programs and services that Albertans rely on every day. By investing in the General Revenue Fund, every play, bet, and buy made on Play Alberta helps make a difference across the province. Visit playalberta.ca/Gregor to learn more. That's playalberta.ca/Gregor. Must be 18 plus to play. If you gamble, use your game sense.
When thirst strikes and your energy begins to fade, one hero rises above the rest. Introducing the Superpower Smoothie from Booster Juice. A bright sun-charged burst of mangoes, bananas, and blue spirulina. An out-of-this-world smoothie, just in time for the new Supergirl movie. Discover your power and channel your inner superhero. Fly into your local Booster Juice and experience it for yourself today. And see Supergirl. Only in theaters June 26th.
It's time to hit the greens. Elevate your golf game with Country Club Tour Golf Academy. No matter your experience, our PGA of Canada teaching pros are here to help. Enjoy lessons year-round between our 7 CCT golf courses and 2 state-of-the-art indoor facilities. Choose the location convenient for you. We offer private lessons, group lessons, expert club fittings, and junior cams. Visit our website to learn more and get ready to take your game to the next level. Booking is easy. Go to countryclubtour.com/golf academy and schedule your lesson today.
Hey, sports fans, we've got a clear choice for you. At Crystal Glass, we provide customers with the perfect glass for any job. From home to auto and even commercial, installation or repairs, we're your team. Call 310-GLASS or visit crystalglass.ca. Crystal Glass.
Jason Gregor isn't just a sports guy. He's a community builder with over $3 million raised for local charities. And his Gregor Foundation, he's making a difference on and off the air. Check out Gregor weekday afternoons on Sports 1440.
Heard of Uline? You know, the have-it-all in stock, ready-to-deliver shipping and industrial supply specialists. the company that does things for you that are unheard of, like keeping 41,000 items in stock in our own warehouses. With customer service reps on the line to get you what you need when you need it 24/7, 365 every time. Maybe you heard it here first. Want to hear more? Visit uline.ca. ULINE, your shipping and industrial supply specialists.
Whether you're refinancing or buying your first home, mortgages are easier with help from a neighbor. At Vision Credit Union, you get face-to-face guidance from local lenders who know the market because, well, they live here too. They'll look at your whole financial picture with practical advice for payments, renewals, refinancing, and what makes sense long-term. Get a more neighborly mortgage. Contact your branch today or visit visioncu.ca.
Stories, guests, and insights. This is Sports 1440 and the Kevin Karius Show.
All right, welcome back to the big program, 7:20 in Edmonton, and time now for the headliner of the day, brought to you by Mr. Rooter Plumbing, because your pipes take a beating on game day too. Ready for overtime, even when your plumbing is not. Check them out at mrrooter.ca as we welcome in Jordan Maximic, Double E offensive coordinator. Good morning, Jordan. You're with Kevin Karius, and a Grey Cup champion from 2015 with the Double E, Eddie Steele. Thanks for coming on Sports 1440. Really appreciate it this morning, Coach.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, the former Belrose Bulldog. I remember the last time we had you on, we were talking about your quarterbacking days. What's that, 20 years ago, I guess, Jordan?
A long time ago. Yeah, about that.
It's a long time ago for sure.
Yeah.
Hey, what did you like the most about the big win on Saturday, 34-16 over the Lions in BC?
I just like the professionalism of our group. I mean, there's a lot of moving pieces in the preseason, and there's a ton of guys, and it's the first pro game for a lot of people, and sometimes those things can spiral a little bit, and people can get a little bit overwhelmed. But I thought our guys showed up and executed the plan, and it was a pretty good showing. So really proud of the group for that.
Yeah, we had Ed Hervey on Thursday or Friday, I guess it was last week. And, we were talking about what he wanted to see. And the word that he brought up, Jordan, was rhythm. How do you, as an OC, when you're trying to get so many guys in and out of the lineup, in a preseason game, how do you try to establish rhythm in a game like that?
Yeah, I mean, there's no doubt it's tricky just with all the different combinations of receivers and quarterbacks and that kind of stuff. And quite honestly, rhythm comes with live reps. And so we've been trying to maximize that on the grass here in training camp and get as many different pieces moving with other guys and stuff like that to try and get those relationships formed and get that timing and get that rhythm down. But it's only something that you can manufacture with live reps. And so again, just really proud of the group for taking what we did on the practice field and translating that to the game day and getting some production.
Eddie? Coach, I just am curious about Taylor Powell. We know this is Cody's team going into the season here. This is his offense, not making anything about his numbers, but Taylor had a very efficient outing, 13 of 14, 160 touchdown. He did have the turnover, but how has he been throughout training camp, and how has he been really accepting this offense that you've been teaching him as he's been his first year under you?
Yeah, really happy with Taylor, his performance over the weekend and everything leading up to it. From the minute that he signed here in early February during free agency, he's been a sponge, and we've spent a lot of time on Zooms and on the phone in the off season, and he's just been digesting as much of this offense as he possibly could. So he came to training camp fully prepared. He understood the ins and the outs of the offense, and then he's been able to execute. And again, that's that's a credit to him and a credit to the receivers he's been working with and everything like that. And it's been really fun working with Taylor throughout training camp, and I'm happy that he was able to have a productive day on Saturday.
Jordan Maksimic with us on Sports 1440. What did you see, Coach, from the rest of your quarterback room on Saturday?
Just it's what we talked about earlier. It's that rhythm, that timing, just having command of the offense. The whole group, I was just really proud of the way that they were able to come out and just execute the offense. And we didn't take it easy on them. I mean, it was a full game plan worth of plays, and they were able to digest that information and go out there and control the game and execute the offense. So happy with the group of 4 guys that we have in the quarterback room.
Okay, now fellas, we can't bury the lead. The local product, Carter Kettle, first pro game, big play, big touchdown. Talk about him, Coach, because from what I've heard, he has some real sure hands. There was some concerns about his size, but you obviously knew about him and scouted him really well. He's looking like a real pro, isn't he?
Yeah, Carter is as advertised. So obviously following him in through his career with the Bears and stuff like that, we were familiar with him and got a lot more familiar during the draft process and on tape watching him at the U of A. You could just see that consistency and he's just a football player. Like the measurables and everything might not be at the top of the draft class or anything like that when you're talking testing and all that. But when you put the pads on and you get out onto the grass, he's just a football player. And that's what we saw on film and through the interview process, getting to know him and all that during the draft. And that's who he is. And he's just been a versatile guy that's come in and learned the offense, and he's a real smart guy, high football IQ, and he goes out there and is able to execute at whatever position we throw him at. So yeah, really happy to see him have a couple big catches over the weekend.
How much did Chris Morris give you some intel on him from his time that he spent with him at U of A?
Yeah, I'm sure that with the personnel department and stuff like that there are some conversations there, that familiarity. We got a couple, or more than a couple. We got a few Golden Bears on the team, so that familiarity certainly helps.
Yeah. Isaiah Knight, too. We had him on Friday. He came on the air with us Friday morning before you guys had your walkthrough and then left for Langley. What did you see from a guy that has, so much talent and just kind of a raw, untapped potential kind of player here?
Yeah, I mean, that's what the preseason is all about, is for guys like Isaiah. Just obviously saw the potential last year during the draft process, and we were lucky enough to land him in the draft. And obviously with the loaded backfield that we have, not a ton of opportunity for him during the regular season. So he just kind of spent his time and got his work in during practice and things like that. But we knew he had it in him. So this was a big training camp for Zay, and he was going to get a lot of reps, and he's maximized those, and he's made the most of those. And yeah, just a really solid performance over the weekend, but not unexpected. That's what we knew we had in Zay. So happy for him as well.
We have Double E football offensive coordinator Jordan Maksimic on with us now. Coach, this is a big one for you, which I would imagine really helps out the upgrade at the offensive line position. You have Carter O'Donnell now as a full year. He only played, a handful of games last year. How has that upgrade at the O-line helped you as a play caller, been able to maybe bring a little more ease to what you do as a job?
Yeah, I mean, that's where it all starts. We know that it's cliche in football, but it's cliche for a reason, because it's entirely accurate that everything starts in the trenches on both sides of the ball. And as far as offensively, just having that group of guys, and there's some new pieces there, but there's still some familiarity because guys like Woody and Beardo have played together in the past in Hamilton and stuff like that. So just really excited about that group. It's a great crew. It's a great group of guys. Super talented, and yeah, they that potential starting group kind of played that first quarter there in BC, and it was fun to watch. There were some really big holes in the run game and some really solid pockets for the quarterbacks to operate from. So looking forward to dealing with a lot of that stuff going forward this year.
Not just on the offensive line too, Coach, but just maybe all across the offense. Can you speak to the depth that you have, almost at every position, where it seems that maybe you might not have had that maybe last year compared to this year?
Yeah, certainly. I mean, I think that was on full display all 4 quarters over the weekend. Just a lot of talent. The personnel guys have done a tremendous job of bringing in a talented group and making our jobs difficult as far as being able to pick the final group here, because there's a lot of good football players around here, and talking specifically on offense, up and down the roster, offensive line, through the skill positions as well. Just really happy with the crew that we have.
Yeah. When we had Ed Hervey on Thursday, Jordan, one of the questions that I asked him was about the 21 wide receivers that you brought into camp. And then he was like, I said, well, were there too many? And he was, no. Because he said, if you remember last year, he goes, well, we were unsure of what was going on at the defensive back position. We brought in more DBs to evaluate. So that was kind of the philosophy, to bring in more wideouts this year. So now that you've pared it down a little bit, what have you been seeing from that group as a whole?
Yeah, I mean, it was a tricky process. Just a matter of getting those guys on the field and getting them reps and getting enough film and enough looks on these guys where you could make a proper evaluation. But I think the way we structured practice and the way we kind of planned things out at the initial stages of training camp really helped do that, and had the cream kind of rise to the top as far as that group. But there's still a lot of them around. I mean, there's still a full 3 groups of receivers, and we still got a week left of training camp and a really important game on Friday night. So that process and that evaluation is ongoing, but it's definitely a very, very talented group, and a very high group with high football IQ and intelligence as well. Like I said earlier, we're not taking it easy on them from a mental standpoint, and we're throwing a full playbook at them, and they've been able to digest it and go out there and execute at a high level. So that's always good to see from my chair as well.
Hey, Coach, speaking of the wide receiver group, is Austin Mack as advertised?
Yeah, I mean, just that veteran presence, that guy who's been around and seen it and done it and won and been an efficient receiver in this league is just so helpful for the room to have, so helpful for the coaching staff to have. I mean, he's a tremendous guy. He's got a great relationship with Cody, which is a huge plus as well. They understand each other's body language and where they're going to be and all that kind of stuff. So having that piece as part of the lineup is critical and is going to be very helpful going forward.
Jordan Maksimic with us on Sports 1440. How have you sort of fostered your relationship with Cody Fajardo, to kind of be like almost like a quasi assistant coach, being a guy that's a veteran guy that's been around and won a Grey Cup? How do you work that relationship with him?
Yeah, I mean, it's easy. We spend so much time together. Again, whether it's during the season or in the off season, just Cody's just a good person and a good football mind, and again, just that, like you said, that veteran guy who's been in the league and has been in this offense as well. I mean, I learned a lot of what I do from Coach Moss, and Cody spent a lot of time with Coach Moss and in Saskatchewan and Montreal. So that relationship there helps. And we kind of came into this thing talking the same language. So we were able to kind of start on second or third base as far as that goes. And the relationship has just evolved from there and it's as solid as ever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. How do you change or do you change your philosophy for the second preseason game here coming up Friday at Clark, where it's going to be a neat atmosphere, something that we haven't experienced here in Edmonton, obviously, for a long, long time. But how do you change your philosophy, or do you, with player usage, et cetera, with the second preseason game?
Yeah, quite honestly, some of those conversations are still ongoing. We got a couple days left, but before we get there, so we're still kind of figuring out exactly what the plan is in terms of usage and stuff like that. But we'll tweak the game plan a little bit from last week and drop some things and bring some things in just based on our opponent and stuff like that. But yeah, there's still a little bit of a process to go in terms of determining who's going to play and how long and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Coach, last one from me. You're an offensive coordinator. You probably don't even want to hear this one out of me. A defensive tackle, but I'm curious because you probably have the best insight out of anybody really to answer the question, and that is, how has the defense for the Double E looked? Because you're going against them all the time in training camp and battling. No, you're not scheming to beat them. You're worried about getting your own offense better. But you get a firsthand glance at how the defense is performing, and they had a good showing against BC. How have they been looking?
Yeah, no, I appreciate you asking that because they've been doing a great job. I think JC and the crew, I mean, they worked so hard this offseason getting their plan in and everything, and just there's a decent amount of consistency on that side of the ball as well. With a bunch of returning starters, so they hit the ground running. I mean, they've been flying around since day one of camp, and they're certainly operating at a high level. So really excited to see what they do this year, because I think it's a solid group of players, and they got a really tremendous scheme. So I think they're gonna do some great things this year.
Yeah, leave it to Eddie Steele to snivel in some question about the defense. Hey, coach, just try to weasel in there. At what point, Coach, do you start, or maybe you have already, like the game plan for the season opener in week 1, Saturday, June the 6th in Ottawa against the Red Blacks? And maybe that process has started for you already, but just maybe speak to that to try to get off to a good start here.
Yeah, that's certainly part of our off-season projects is we kind of take a deep dive on our first 3 or 4 opponents, and we're lucky this year. It's not always the case in the CFL, but the coordinators have stayed the same. I think our first 3 opponents are Ottawa, Montreal, and Winnipeg, and those coordinators are consistent from last year. So you're able to go back and break down all the film and like I said, take a deep dive into it. So that was part of our off season, and we did that as offensive coaches. So we've kind of got some of that data waiting and ready for us, and once we find out who our team is, we'll be able to kind of to match up who we have from a roster standpoint with that data and that work that we did in the off season, and put a plan together for week 1.
Hey, Jordan, thanks so much for your time this morning. Really appreciate it. Good luck this Friday. It should be an electric atmosphere down at Clark to see sort of an intimate atmosphere. So good luck on Friday and the rest of the season, and I'm sure we'll speak soon. Thanks a lot for coming on.
For sure. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
That's Jordan Maksimic, Double E offensive coordinator, and our headliner of the day, brought to you by Mr. Rooter, knocking your plumbing problems out of the park. That's mrrooter.ca.
Man, I got just absolute chills, Kevin. I'm telling you. No, I'm telling you, when he name dropped the 3 teams that they're playing, and then I just kind of got to thinking around the league, thinking of the teams, the organizations, the players. Jump on board now. This Double E team is going to be good, not just this year, but for a few years to come. They are going to be a good franchise.
And I mean, I've gone back a long time with Ed Hervey, but this team needed him back in the organization.
They did. It's different, Kevin.
You think about it, like, I mean, since 2016, you guys won in 2015. Then you had another, like 2016 was an okay year.
But with brand new coaching staff.
But after 2016, it's been in the toilet.
Downhill.
Yeah. And I mean, COVID, that every team had to go through that. But the personnel, the people that were running the ship here from 2018, 19, all of those years were the wrong people to be in charge of things.
No other organization in that time span, and we'll say 7-10 years right in there, has gone through 4 different presidents. We'll say 5-6 different GMs, same amount of head coaches. No different organization has done that much turnover.
The board of governors almost sewered this team for, well, it's true.
I'm laughing because 4 different presidents, Kevin.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
You think I still think of the pictures of what's the guy from Arizona? What was his name?
Presson, Chris Presson.
Yeah. And he's leaving on the plane to go down to the States. He's the only guy on the plane, and he takes a picture of himself. Leaving.
Terrible.
And like, you're supposed to be here, man.
Len Rhodes to Chris Preston to Victor Queen. Now we have Chris Morris.
Yeah. Those
That's so much
those
turnover.
3 guys. They put this franchise back decades.
And it all, yeah, it's
unreal.
And it started by the president of the board saying
Winning,
pretty much alienating
winning.
Yeah,
it's not a
no,
big
that was
deal.
Len
Yeah.
saying football's more than about winning. Pro football's more than just about winning games. Wrong. It's all only about winning. But then the other one, when the president said, our fans are just a bunch of 50-year-old white guys.
Yeah.
And we love you, but we need different. And we don't want you, essentially. Pretty much alienated a bunch of fans saying, well, what do you like? Your best fan.
Finally, yeah. Now we're, it's back. And I mean, Chris with Eddie and with Ed Herbie.
That
I
Ed,
mean,
yeah.
So,
but jump on board, Kevin. This team is going to be a good franchise. I'm not saying they're going to go turn into Winnipeg 5 straight Grey Cups, but they are going to be a franchise to be reckoned with.
well, and that's the way it's supposed to be. I remember too. This is another thing with Brock Sunderland, and I did an interview with him, and I this was probably, I don't know, I got to think about the year, but anyway, the interview didn't go well, and it was a taped interview, and we were running it later, and I said, you know what, let's do this again, because it wasn't good. I said, this is bad for
Came
your
off bad.
It's bad for your organization. It'll be bad for global TV. We're a sponsor. We're like we're tight with you guys.
You're trying to look good yourself.
I'm trying to help you out here. And he said, okay, sure. But he didn't even care about doing the second.
Crazy.
And because one of the questions was, Eddie, I said, how do you get back to being the flagship franchise of the CFL? And I remember the answer. He goes, well, who's to say we're not right now? And I was like, well, what am I supposed to show you and tell you here?
Proof is in the pudding.
Like everything. You're probably 3 or 4 right now,
if that.
And it used to be automatic.
Yeah.
The Edmonton Eskimos were the flagship franchise of the CFL. And back to the days where they supported the league. Never mind their own team. They supported the league by giving other teams
revenues.
money.
Yes, absolutely. Duke, you'll appreciate this reference. There's a name we have for Mr. Sunderland. It's a Harry Potter reference. We just call him He Who Shall Not Be Named. We don't talk about him around here, man, because he was the absolute worst. He was rubbish. He was landfill material for that organization.
Text 833-401-1440. Our buddy J-Dog, who we're going to be going out for dinner with because he bought the Jason Gregor month of giving dinner. He says, hey, Eddie, Simon Patrick played for the Huskies, not the Cats. Please don't tarnish his reputation.
My bad.
J-Dog, Jason Beulah was an old Husky too, eh?
Yeah, man, I love that dude's actually played with him and know him. Fellas, this guy, Simon Patrick, was a legend to me. And I was a young pup coming in, fresh out of high school. And Simon's just a man, all right? A true manimal. And the strength that he had, probably the best football player I've ever seen, actually. Ever seen. He just old and not as athletic enough to play CFL ball.
Yeah. When we come back, we'll get to more of your texts. A good one from Jurassic Bark talking about the Pacific Division now. Remember what we were talking about, the Pacific Division? And now where the Pacific Division is 1 win away from being in the Stanley Cup. Kevin Karius, Eddie Steele, Duke of Delburne, Josh Fenwick on Sports 1440 AM radio. We're streaming on YouTube, X, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitch.
Hey there, I'm in the Fountain Tire sidecar, making a list of the things I'm doing this spring. 1, saving you money with up to 20% off select tires until June 13th. 2, water skiing, tricky in a sidecar, but fun. And 3, saving you more money with mail-in rebates of up to $100 off a set of 4 select tires and $50 off a $150 service with the purchase of 4 select tires. Oh, that's 4 things. Oh well. Restrictions apply. Book online at fountaintire.com. Fountain Tire. We're on this road together, Canada.
Good to go. Good to go.
With Mortgages to Go, you'll be good to go. Mortgagestogo.ca says yes when the banks say no. That's why Alberta has trusted Mortgages to Go for over 23 years. If you need cash and have equity in your home, you're approved instantly, guaranteed. Call 1-888-888-5998. That's 1-888-888-5998. With Mortgages to Go, you'll say,
Good, I'm good to go.
Your all-access pass to the world of sports is Edmonton's only sports radio station.
From pre- and post-game hockey shows to in-depth analysis from your favorite commentators, the action never stops on Sports 1440.
At Leading Edge Physiotherapy, healing doesn't have to feel heavy, because in our SwimX aquatic therapy pools, you literally float your way to recovery. Whether you're dealing with arthritis, back pain, joint injuries, post-surgical rehab, chronic pain, balance issues, mobility challenges, or just feeling a little creaky, warm water and gentle resistance have your back, your knees, and your hips. Trusted by pro sports teams and rehab hospitals, our SwimX pools help you move sooner, hurt less, and recover faster. So take the load off. Let the water do the work. Life shouldn't hurt. LeadingEdgePhysio.com.
The sun's out, the pavement's warm, and that low rumble of a Harley rolling by? Oh yeah, that's calling your name. This is riding season, and if you've been thinking about a new ride, Harley-Davidson of Edmonton has the one that'll get your heart pumping. With a huge selection of new and pre-owned bikes, there's one waiting for you. Whether you're upgrading or just getting started. And while you're there, ask about test rides, because the only way to know is to ride it. For more details, visit Harley-Davidson of Edmonton on the Yellowhead Trail, locally owned and operated since 1980, or at hdedmonton.com.
Hi, it's Jason McCoy. You know, music's given me a lot of great moments, but nothing means more than time with my dad. When he was diagnosed with prostate cancer, a simple PSA blood test was key in detecting it early, and we got more years, more laughs, and more memories. Guys, it's a quick test that just might end up saving your life.
Join the Princess Auto Motorcycle Ride for Dad in Edmonton, Saturday, June 13th. Register or donate at ridefordad.ca. Real protection starts from the ground up. Timberland Pro Boondock Boots provide industrial-grade protection and legendary durability. Their new BOA series give you unmatched fit and performance, coupled with all-day anti-fatigue comfort. Find the largest selection of Timberland Boondock BOAs at all three of our Edmonton job site workwear locations and online at jobsiteworkwear.ca.
Job site workwear, tough for tough jobs.
Sports 1440. All sports, all day.
On YouTube, Facebook, and X.
Thanks for listening to Edmonton's sports leader.
All right, welcome back to the big program, 746 in Edmonton. Kevin Karius, Eddie Steele with you here on a Monday morning. Hope you had a wonderful weekend. And again, great temperatures here moving forward in the City of Champions. Text 833-401-1440. Coach Vic, I just want the double E to win. He texts in. That solves a whole lot of problems, doesn't it? Drew goes, yep, let's go Elks. They want to see this team succeed. Jurassic Bark was the text that we're talking about the Vegas Golden Knights beating Colorado last night 5-3 to take a 3-0 series lead. And he says, looks like the pillow fight division came with pillows stuffed with lead. Vegas is making it look easy. It's
true.
So, I mean, you look at a 3-0 series lead here by Vegas, and they're a win away. We'll see what happens between Carolina and Montreal. That series goes back to Montreal for game number 3 tonight. Series tied 1-1. 833-401-1440. Where was this one from? Braden says, would you guys like to see the Oilers go after Mason Marchment? Well, I mean, I'm sure he would be, yes. Would I like to see him? Yeah, probably. He's such a big guy and he plays with an edge. It's something that they don't have. They don't have like a 6'4", kind of forward. And I think Mason Marchment is 6'4" at least. I think he's 6'5", 215. Last year, so the trade from Seattle to Columbus, he totaled 19 goals. So before that, 2 years, 22 goals, back-to-back seasons with the Dallas Stars. So he's a 20-goal guy. He's got an edge to him.
Without a question.
So yes, but what would you have to pay to get? And this is a guy that's going to sign. Well, what was his contract last year? He was at $4.5 million. He's an unrestricted free agent. So he's probably going to get, it's starting with a 6.
At least.
Yeah. And it might
He's going to be, what, 31 next year?
He's a 30-year-old player. If he signs a 7-year contract,
well,
that's what he's going to get.
I don't like that, man.
I know.
I don't like that. Not at that size either. You know, I love the size. Love 31, right in it. But at 7 years, man, at 34, 35, that's going to off the cliff.
I'm just telling you, like someone's going to give him a 6 or 7 year deal here, no?
Most likely.
So, and maybe it starts with a 6
what
or
about
7.
The 4, the higher AAV? No, he's not. No way. He's getting a long-term deal. Someone will do it.
I think that at this point, when you're a player at that age, right? You want to cash in.
Absolutely.
This is your contract.
Yeah, you're not going to take shorter.
So, but again, big body. He's going to get you 20 goals. And it's something that the Oilers haven't had for a long time. Like, I mean, you can talk about like an Evander Kane, which like Evander Kane's not the same player as Mason Marchment. They're different players. But Kane brought that edge.
Speaking of Kane, think his game's over? I'd say so, personally.
See, I don't know if you were on that one day, Eddie, and I mean, when I watch Evander Kane and see what he, like even last year, and to an extent even prior, Evander Kane likes or loves the idea. I don't know if you were on.
I've
that
heard
day.
this.
Yeah, loves the idea of being a National Hockey League player. Not loves being. He loves the idea of it.
Of course.
Where you are not doing exactly what it takes day to day to be
What comes
a true
with
pro.
it? What comes with it? The extras.
Yeah, everything. You got to put the work
He
in.
loves the sugar life.
Yes.
But the reality is, man, Evander Kane's 36. Can't
Mhm.
play in the NHL forever.
No.
We all have a shelf life. When I hear any pro athlete at 36, I just think the end is quite near.
Matt and Leduc text in, isn't the max length 6 years now? Duke, is it 8 years till when? September?
Well, it's 8 years when you're signing with you. Were you
same
signing with the
team.
same team?
So 7.
Yeah, I believe this is the last off season that's the case, right? Because there was one more year remaining on the CBA when they got the new one hashed out.
Yeah.
Would you do it, Duke? Marchman?
Well, yeah, like you guys said, the player itself is enticing and there's a lot to like, but when you're the Oilers right now, I think you have to be very conscious of a lot of decisions regarding how much money you're giving to him and more importantly, the term. And if he is truly interested in maximizing just the value as opposed to, opportunity to win or whatever, like all the cliches, there are a lot of teams out there that could pay him a lot more and for much longer than the Oilers can afford to right now.
Like again, I think they've got enough of these contracts. I don't think they need to get crazy here.
100%.
I'm sure
with a full no move.
Text 833-401-1440. Ontario Mom says he's talking about Vegas being just the way it goes. Like the bad guys finish first. And then he says no to Mason Marchment. Find the next Mason Marchment. Stop paying older players for their past.
It's true.
Playbook Vic says, sure wish we had Holloway at 2.2 or whatever the Blues offer sheeted him at. Well, now what? And Holloway signed for, what is it, Duke? 7? Yeah. I'm going to have to check on that one. Because he just signed that contract with the Blues.
The one that got away.
7.75, Kevin. Right. That starts next year.
Wow.
I liked him.
Yeah.
I liked him. Banger. He wasn't, he was productive later in his tenure here. He was injured quite often early because he played quite recklessly. But I love that because he was fast, big.
That's a big contract. And so, 7.75. And then also Broberg his contract kicks in next year at 8.
Big, but
but they're both 24 years old.
That's what I mean.
Like you got these guys now
with the cap going up. It's not that crazy, right? It's not like a Darnell Nurse contract from years ago.
Yeah, and you got these guys again. They're 24 years old. You're gonna have them till
exactly. They're locked.
31 years
they're
old,
locked,
or whatever
man.
it is. 833-401-1440. The same over from Northside Lou. Marchman was benched in the playoffs. No thanks. Don't want him here. The janitor says, Duke, what's this all about here? He's giving you the gears, the janitor. I always hear Duke commenting if people bring up comments about the Oilers he doesn't like.
I think it stems back to the past couple of weeks where in the fallout from the Oilers losing out the playoffs and then this whole coaching debacle, and it's mostly been on Fantasy Frenzy or Connor. I talked about it. Some people have texted and saying if the Oilers did something like this, the league would sanction them a first round pick and demand that they release the coach to be interviewed by other teams and all these things. And Connor and I just say is like, well, yeah, if ifs and buts were candies and nuts, like you can be upset that the Oilers haven't been afforded the opportunity to interview their next potential head coach, but don't come at me saying they feel sorry for yourself in the pity wagon that says, if my team did it this way, the league's out to get them and it's all biased and they want Vegas to don't feed me that BS. So that's where he's coming from. And he goes on to talk about the injuries. And I don't know. I thought as a show, as a collective, and myself and Connor included, have given plenty of notion of the fact that the injuries that the Oilers sustained played a role in them losing to the Ducks. Like, full stop. How could they not?
Yeah.
Your top 4 centers all banged up, if not unavailable.
Joe Daddy texts in, hey guys, would you rather have Broberg at $8 million or Wallman at $7 million?
Oh, easy.
Yeah.
That's an easy answer for me.
Absolutely it is, yeah.
Broberg all day.
You betcha. Coming up at the top of the hour, Mark Spector from Rogers Sportsnet. Before all that, time for a Sports 1440 update brought to you by All-Star Construction. They shape and build Edmonton communities, specializing in underground utilities like power, gas, telecommunications, and street lighting. That's All-Star Construction. Here is the Duke.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
Stanley Cup playoff Western Conference final last night. The Vegas Golden Knights erase a 3-0 deficit to come back and win 5-3 over the Avalanche. That gives them a 3-0 advantage in the best of 7, 1 game away from advancing through to the Stanley Cup final. On the hardwood, San Antonio bounces back in a big way and beats OKC 103-82. Victor Wembanyama, 33 points in the victory. That series is now tied at 2 games apiece. And off the court, the NBA yesterday announcing its first, second, and third All-NBA teams. SGA, the MVP, Nikola Jokic out of Denver, and Wembanyama are all first-team. Wemby just 1 vote short of unanimous, along with Luka Doncic out of the Lakers club and Detroit's Cade Cunningham. Notable omissions from all 3 teams include league legends LeBron James, Steph Curry, Giannis Antetokounmpo. In the majors yesterday, Blue Jays dropped their finale to the Pirates 4-1. Tough news for the team as well as both Dylan Cease and Vlad Guerrero Jr. left the game with apparent injuries. And from the clay at Roland Garros, Canadian Leila Annie Fernandez set to have her first round matchup later this morning, currently scheduled for a 9:05 start. Coming up in hour 2 of the Kevin Karius Show, we'll be joined by Sportsnet's Mark Spector, and we'll check in with a new edition of In or Out. I'm Brandon Douglas at your Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440 in West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin. CKJR is a Stingray radio station.
Download the free radio player app and listen wherever you go.
Don't let equipment failure stop you cold. At AWS Welding in Nisku, our factory-trained service techs are on hand for all welding equipment repairs. We're a fully warranted center for Miller, Lincoln, and ESAB. And we service all makes and models. Proper, regular service extends the life of your gear and keeps it running at peak capacity. Don't wait for a breakdown. Book your service appointment today at 780-979-0470. AWS Welding. We make it happen.
Today on Hey Culligan, how smart is your water? Here's Tracy.
Hey, Culligan. I think my water might be
dumb.
Good news, Tracy. Your water's not dumb. It's just not talking to you.
You can make my water talk.
No, but the new Culligan Smart Drinking Water System can talk to your phone to tell you when your water filters need changing and help you meet drinking water goals.
Now that's some brilliant H2O.
You said it, Tracy, and we're already on the way. Let us help you out with a free in-home water test from a local Culligan water expert at culligan.ca.
Summer in Alberta means baseball debates.
Okay, best ballpark snack. Gotta be popcorn.
Nah, it's nachos, hands down.
Nah, you're both wrong. It's mini donuts.
But when it comes to beef jerky, there's no argument.
Wilhauk Beef Jerky.
The only snack every fan agrees on. Grab some for your next ballpark outing.
Wilhauk Beef Jerky. Because you don't win games with salad. Only available in Leduc.
Whether you're a craft beer connoisseur or more of a wine aficionado, there's always something new to discover at Sherbrooke Liquor, a unique, family-owned, independent liquor store. The selection? Incredible. The non-alcohol section is also very impressive. Sherbrooke Liquor, expert, knowledgeable staff with a passion for unique finds. More than just a liquor store, we're a community. Alberta's best, the one and only Sherbrooke Liquor. Wine, spirits, and oodles of beer. Visit SherbrookeLiquor.com.
May brings more of what you're looking for at Wolf GMC Buick. The selection, never better. The savings up to $12,000 when you combine cash discounts on your new 2026 Sierra 1500 pickup. Up to $1,750 in cash rebates on remaining 2025 Terrain SUVs. Plus 0% financing up to 72 months on most models. And ask about the truck trade-in bonus of up to $1,500 on select new in-stock Sierra 1500s.
Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy.
Who's that working on the underground utilities over there? All-Star Construction, that's who. What about the street lighting? Yep, All-Star Construction. And the directional drilling, hydrovacing, neighborhood renewal, and telecommunication work? Yep. Since 2009, All-Star Construction has been doing all that and more, shaping and building Edmonton communities for land developers all around Edmonton. That's what All-Star Construction is all about.
Have your sports curiosity cured with the Kevin Karius Show. This is Sports 1440.
All right, welcome back to the big program, 8:01 in Edmonton, and time now for On the Mark, brought to you by Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. Right now, you can get 0% financing on heavy-duty trucks. Finally, 0% financing on half-ton trucks as well. See more at northgategm.com as we welcome in Mark Spector from Rogers Sportsnet. Good morning, Spec.
What's going on, boys? Elks 1-0. You must be feeling pretty good, Eddie.
Coming in hot, Spec. I like it. Yeah.
Eddie just wants to know how your painting went on the weekend.
Did you get a shot? She probably has shot because she kicked me off the roller about Saturday about 3:00.
He got booted from his chore.
Oh, man.
I wasn't complaining much. That's for sure.
So what do you mean booted off? Like what happened? She just said,
I'm a first coat guy. So we got the first coat all done and everything. And then she wants perfection in the second coat. So she says,
Really?
I'll paint from here. I'll take it from here. You go. I put the dock in Saturday and cleaning up some stuff Sunday. So I won't take credit for the paint job. It was all Shelka.
So who helped you with the dock, though? That's what I want to know.
All the boys on the block here. We got a bunch of boats around a big dock. It's about 12 guys, about 6 hours.
Did you have to get out there the most? Did you have to go deepest in the water?
Yeah, the water wasn't exactly warm. But you know what? It's fun. I missed it last couple of years because I've been away covering the Oilers. So had a fun day.
When is the
ready to go,
first
boys?
video?
Ready for summer out here.
Yeah, when's the first video? First video of you skiing behind.
Yes.
Yeah, well, I'll have to put the boat in the water before that's going to happen, but we'll figure that out, boys.
I don't know how you got that done last year with the AI. How you figured that out?
I got a better chance of making that video happen than Colorado does of getting to the Stanley Cup final by the looks of it.
Got that right. Yeah, I'm sure
What happened to
everyone had
everybody's
this one.
prediction here? How come nobody saw this coming?
Well, we just even had a couple texts talking about how, the Pacific Division was the Patsy division, and now someone's coming out of the Pacific, you would think, here, and something crazy happens and you're going to the Stanley Cup final.
Yeah, it is. It's a big surprise. Like, I mean, I think the surprise is like, I got a lot of respect for Vegas. They have obviously a really good program. They're good every year. They got veteran guys. They know how to win, all that stuff. Like, I'm not as surprised with Vegas. I'm just so surprised with Colorado. They were so good. They were unbeatable this season. I mean, it's crazy that they would go down 3-0. And I mean, the series is basically over this quick. I'm flabbergasted. They handled Minnesota. Would they beat them in 5?
Yep.
I mean, they didn't have much trouble with a really good Minnesota team. And it's crazy to me that this is going this way from a Colorado standpoint. I'm quite surprised from that side of things. How about you?
Yeah, Spec, we discussed this right off the hop of the program earlier this morning, and Kevin asked me this question. Why do you think you're surprised? Let's dig into why Colorado has performed this way. He asked me from an athlete's perspective. I say it's nothing to do with the physical. I would say it's more mental. They're in their head. I really don't know. Why do you think that Colorado has come out and laid such an egg after having such a dominant season?
I don't know. It's like it's a million things. It's a funny organization that way because they've been good for so long, but they really struggled to get to that first cup. Remember in the bubble when they lost to Dallas and McKinnon was just so depressed and he's like, I don't know how many times we're going to bang on the door here before we finally get somewhere. And they did win their cup, and good for them. They deserve a Stanley Cup down there. And then now they've kind of, it's like I would say to you, the Oilers got to the top and stayed there for a couple of years. These guys would get to the top and then fall off. They haven't had a consistency. They've been consistently good, Eddie, a consistently good team all year, but not a consistently deep team come playoff time. And I mean, ask me why. I don't know. They got everything. How can you be the President's Trophy winner and be as good as they've been and now be outclassed in the conference final? It's that I don't have an answer for.
So here's one for you too, Spec, because it wasn't that long ago when people were saying, well, look at what Colorado did. They fixed their goaltending. And now, right? Everyone's saying, like, why couldn't the Oilers do this? And now going to game 4, who knows who's going to start game 4? It could be Blackwood. I would imagine you go back to Blackwood. Wedgwood wasn't that good last night. So, is it that simple that the goaltending hasn't been as good as it was, say, back to the Minnesota series?
I think what we have to have learned here, guys, is it's not just about goaltending. Like Stuart Skinner has more playoff wins or has been involved in more playoff wins than 98% of the goalies over the last 3 years. And everyone's tossing him in the garbage. Like, have we not figured out that it's as much the team in front? Look at all the guys that have won cups, the Aiden Hills and the Antti Niemis and all these, okay goalies. Look at the Ottingers and the Hellebucks that have never won jack that are supposed to be the best guys. Like, I think we got to get off this. Everything's about goaltending. Surely we're not turning now on the theory that Colorado are a bunch of heroes because they went out and found the 2 goalies that no one else could find. And now it's the goalie's fault. Is that what we're saying? Like, come on here.
I'm totally with you, man. It's no different in football. The quarterback gets all the praise, but he's doing nothing without an offensive line. It's the reality. It's the team in front. It's the team in front. So you can bash a goalie all you want, Stuart Skinner hater all you want, but show me how this organization has defended the past 7 years in front of their goaltending.
Yeah.
So there's a reason. There's a rhyme. I got to pause though, Spec, and just say, I hear your background. I hear the birds chirping, man. Oh, I love it. I love it. How is it out there? You sitting out on Spec's deck at the moment?
Yeah, I'm outside. I'm having a nice little coffee outside. It's a beautiful morning out here. I'm kind of waiting for the Oilers to hire a coach and put me back to work. I hope that doesn't happen for any time soon.
Well,
here.
You're going to have to wait for a few more weeks because Vegas looks to be cup ready.
Maybe they can wait for a rainy day, Kev. Is that fair?
I don't know about that, Spec. This could go on for like weeks here yet.
I guess it could. Hey,
I don't know.
I guess it could. I don't know.
Actually, it was sort of a quieter weekend on that front, wasn't it?
Yeah, like what I'm kind of waiting for is for other teams to start hiring people. Excuse me. I'm waiting for, Toronto needs a coach.
Yeah.
Vancouver needs a coach.
Vancouver.
Right. LA needs a coach. I think that's what's going to get people nervous. If some of the candidates start to sign up places, other teams are going to go, uh-oh, who's left? Are we going to get Cassidy? Should we wait for Cassidy? What's going to happen there?
Is it Cassidy or bust? That's what I'm sitting here wondering about the whole predicament that the Oilers find themselves in. Is it, if it's not Cassidy or bust, what's going to go on here if they don't get the chance to talk to Cassidy?
Well, it can't be Cassidy or bust because you got to have a coach next year. You can't just especially of all those teams. Everyone's coach is important, but the Oilers no one's at a greater sense of urgency in their window than Edmonton. Like Vancouver, I'm not going to tell you they want to make a mistake. They'll probably hire from within, Manny Malhotra, but
it has to be Malhotra there, no?
Yeah, probably, but it's not like no matter who they hire, they're not winning a Stanley Cup next year. The Oilers, this is a pretty consequential hire for them. So, the seat's hot under Bowman right now, and not of his own making on this Cassidy thing. Like it's not his fault that Vegas is doing what they're doing. And the longer they go, maybe you're right. If they go to the Cup, I mean, do you wait until June 30th or July 1st to talk to your head coach? I wonder.
Well, at what point too, Spec, does it get to the stage where you go, well, it's our second choice? You know what I mean?
100%.
Because everyone knows that they want Cassidy, and that's their number one choice. At what point do they go, okay, well, we're going to go with their second choice?
Bit of a game of chicken here, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right? That's what Vegas is saying. And to be honest, I wouldn't think Vegas cares that much about Toronto or LA, or some other team. Edmonton is the team that's dangerous to Vegas, right? If you look at their record head to head, Edmonton has handled Vegas over the last 3 years extensively quite well. We're obviously worried about the Oilers. They don't want them getting the coach, and they have the right to do this, and the NHL's backed them up on it. So they're, it's like I always say, everybody has a right to be a bit of a dick when they want, and it's just whether you choose to be that guy or not.
That's what it is.
That's what Vegas is saying. Well, it's our right to be that guy. We're going to be him. So shut up.
And the worst part about it is they fire him with 8 games left, get Torts, get this big coaching boost, and here they are up 3-0 on Colorado, and it's all working for them. And it stinks, Spec, that the fact that they're about to be in the finals and they're getting rewarded for all this crap they're doing.
Well, but I mean, the one thing that's weird for me is you obviously have your coach for next year. Would you not sign in Torts next year?
I don't know.
Are you telling me that? Are you? Yeah. Obviously, you're not bringing Cassidy back, so he's never going to be your coach again. And you've got a guy that's only coached for you 8 regular season games. Clearly, you're giving him a deal next year. Like, come on. So, I mean, that's the point here. What is the end game's pretty obvious.
There's
we
one
don't want
more
Edmonton to get Cassidy. That's the only end game they got.
That's it. That's the only thing that this organization is doing.
Yeah. So if it's their right to do it, then, you can sit up here and cry, or you can wait them out, or you can go find another coach. That's your 3 options.
What do you think? What kind of deal do you think Torts signed? Like, obviously it was for 8 games, and then obviously just straight bonuses. So, I mean, maybe it's for 1 playoff round, 2, 3, and then could you imagine what the details look like on that contract spec?
Yeah, I'd imagine that there would, players can't sign those things as much anymore. They've limited player bonuses because of the cap system, but there's no cap on coaches. So I assume a coach like that could say, yeah, I'll put it this way. Some guys would sign with 8 years left and say, I want a 2 or 3 year deal. And if I come in the door there and say, okay, I'll sign you for 8 games, you have no, responsibility to me beyond this season. But if I take you to a cup, there's got to be something there for me here. If I take you 3 rounds, there's got to be something there. So for sure, there should be, right? There should be a healthy bonus for Tortorella every round he wins. No question.
For sure. It's just a different kind of contract. Obviously We haven't seen this before.
How much money is he bringing into that Vegas organization by winning those rounds? Like every game's a full house with no player salaries involved in playoff time, right? So there's millions of dollars owner Bill Foley's making. You're damn right he should be sharing some with his coach.
Hopefully more than the $100K that he had to pay to the league, eh?
Yeah, hopefully. Good point.
Probably didn't even pay it.
Yeah, no, I'm sure the owner paid it.
What happened in that preseason game, Eddie? Does anyone get a chance to watch those, or what's going on?
So they streamed it, Spec. I appreciate your interest in our beautiful sport. They streamed it. By the way, get your season tickets, Spec.
Yeah.
Sign up.
Yeah.
The
Tell
Elks,
Spec about the game on this Friday that he's not aware of.
the Knothole game.
Yeah.
You'll be there. But no, with what they did in BC, they beat them pretty handily. What was it? 34, I believe. 34-16 was the final score.
Like that, yeah.
Their quarterback play, I don't know if you had a chance to check out any stats, Spec. Really efficient quarterback play. Fajardo wasn't. He was 2 of 6 passing. Didn't have much going. I probably assume he only played a drive or two. But Taylor Powell, backup quarterback, 13 of 14, about 150 yards passing, a touchdown, and interception. The third stringer, Zabrowski, 3 of 3 passing, 83 yards. Overall, as a whole, the offense, and we had Coach Maximic, the offensive coordinator, on earlier, was really productive. 450 total yards, 350 passing, 100-plus rushing. Wow. So to get that type of output from your offense when you have such a rotating cast, you have so many quarterbacks playing, so many backup running backs, offensive linemen, it's a real testament to the fellas who are taking the coaching and really practicing and putting it into play, the coaching that they're learning from the coaching staff. But the staff has these guys well prepared, because to come out in a preseason game and to be that efficient, I'm not going to say it's unheard of, but you don't see that type of production from so many different guys usually in the preseason. It's quite choppy usually. So that's a really good sign, Spec.
Yeah, good. Who's Zabrowski? He's no relation to the Cleveland Hurler, is he?
No, that's S and Z different.
Oh, okay.
Zabrowski and Zabrowski.
Zabrowski, okay. Oh, you're right. Like, because it's such a revolving door. How many players would a team like Edmonton bring to Vancouver for that game?
Oh, probably 70 bodies at least.
Yeah.
Right, and you're probably playing 60 of them. So
exactly.
You're right. To show 4 quarters of organized football when there's a revolving door at every position like that, that's pretty good. That's a good sign. It doesn't win you nothing. It's only a preseason game, but that's a good sign. They got a good sign to start the season, and that's always great, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's different than what we've seen around here. The continuity, it's all the same buzzwords that we've spoken about, right? The continuity, the locker room, the guys really love each other, and culture, this and that. And you know what's Beck? I've really bought into it. I'm a big believer in Ed Hervey, having played for him, having done business with him, as him being my GM, and actually having him cut me. So it's not all been good business either. Yep. But I have such respect for him, and I am so bought into what he's done. And I like I said this earlier, jump on board now, because this train is going to get moving and moving fast. Not just this year, Spec.
Awesome.
But for the future. For the future, they're going to be in a good place here.
Well, what's capacity Friday, Kev?
It's a good question.
63, I believe.
6,300?
Shy of 65. Yeah, it's 63 to 65, somewhere in there.
Wow. Don't they have how much would they not have 6,500 season tickets?
Yeah. So that's the predicament, if you want to call it that.
Yeah, right. They might have more than 6,500 season tickets. So how do you get everybody?
No, I'm pretty sure that's the number, right around 63 to 5.
Okay, well, good luck to them. It looks like fun. I get it. Listen, you're playing a game in a goofy little stadium. You're going to have some trouble. It's not like you're playing in there all year. It's one preseason game. I love what they've done to throw back to the old Clark. I mean, they throw this situation at you. You got to try to make lemonade out of it, and it looks like they're having fun with it. So
maybe you should get accredited to cover the game, Spec.
Maybe I should. Sounds like it sounds like there's so many people going. I wouldn't want to take the place of someone else.
Yeah.
Me.
Yeah.
That was good, Kevin.
Oh man. Good stuff, Spec. Get back to work. Do some stuff at the lake today. It's going to be a nice day.
Okay, sounds good, boys.
Get that boat in the water. We need some more AI vids.
See you, man. Mark Spector, Rogers Sportsnet. On the Mark, brought to you by Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. This truck's for you. Check them out at northgategm.com. I bet, like, all the people, like as Spec said, like, you know, he's the last 2 years because of the Oilers' long playoff run, his neighbors helped him out. I bet he barely did anything.
Absolutely.
Hey? Like,
no heavy lifting.
Like nothing. Like
fellas, you see that? Watch that. Just trying to use his voice to navigate.
Yeah, like I'll bet you, like he wouldn't have been the deep guy that would, you know, when you put the pier in, there's the deep guy, there's the other guy. You know, there's two guys always on the. But he
and you know, when he got in the water, first thing he's saying is shrinkage. No, man, Spec, we know the truth. That no shrinkage.
He wouldn't have done it. Like barely anything, barely.
No heavy lifting.
Nothing.
What about you though?
What?
Would you do heavy lifting? No, you would be in the water. You'd be diving. You'd be pass me my goggles. You would be.
Have you ever put a pier in, Duke?
Yeah, I worked at the lake in high school, the Pine Lake.
Oh,
so we took the docks in and out every spring and fall.
I've had to do it once.
Really?
Yeah, I've done it once.
Where at Lake Winnipegosis?
No, this would have been where was it? No, I was out here out by
Duke. There's a lake. It's called
it is
Winnipegosis.
There is a Winnipegosis.
Okay, but like Eddie's from Winnipeg. Why would you just say Lake Winnipeg?
Well,
you know, the one that everybody knows.
There's Lake Winnipeg and Lake Winnipegosis.
Out St. Paul area, a lake out there I would go to, buddy's house.
What's the really nice? Is it Grand Beach?
Grand Beach, yeah,
outside of Winnipeg.
Yep.
Yeah,
that'd be the big one.
Yeah,
and then Gimli. Gimli is a nice little community where there's a nice beach there, but Grand Beach would be the big one.
Yeah,
Gimli. You know what they're famous for?
Yeah, the whiskey.
Which one?
It's Duke Crown.
The
Royal.
Crown
Royal. Yeah, a purple bag. Crown Royal.
Yeah.
Gimli's where that plane landed too, Eddie. That was not fueled up with.
I believe there's a monument there.
Is that right?
I believe so.
Huh.
Yeah.
Steve MP says, "Hey, I lived in Winnipegosis." Text in just now.
I love this program.
Winnipegosis.
I love this
White
program.
sand beaches, he says.
Ooh, nice.
So the really nice, and I think it's a provincial, or it might be a national park, is Clear Lake.
Yep.
And have you been there?
No, I haven't.
So would be west of Winnipeg, and they have a really nice golf course there too.
My pops is out there a ton.
Oh,
My pops does a lot of business out that way.
And at Clear Lake, eh?
Yeah.
It's not clear though. The lake isn't really that clear.
Thanks, Dad. Well, that was a dad joke if there ever was one.
When we come back, we'll get to some of your texts, 833-401-1440. Kevin Karius, Eddie Steele, Duke of Delburne, Josh Fenwick on Sports 1440 AM Radio, and the Palatial Sports 1440 studios here at West Edmonton Mall. We're streaming on YouTube, X, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitch.
Hear that? That's your entry calling. Go Auto is sending you to the biggest football event in the world, live in Vancouver, with tickets, flights, and a hotel stay for two. To enter the contest, just text GAME to 780-777-7777. That's GAME to 780 all sevens. Go Auto, get in the game.
Expand your brand with Fusion Promo Marketing. Fusion is your trusted partner for all things branded merch and apparel. Thousands of products perfect for businesses, sports teams, and corporate events. Fusion with a Z. Promomarketing.ca.
Silent Ice Sports and Entertainment is an innovative market leader across Western Canada. Properties include the Spruce Grove Saints, the Junior Prospects Hockey League, Silent Rides Charter Company, the Hockey Super League, and the newly launched Female Super League. Silent Ice also owns the Western Hockey League Seattle Thunderbirds and operates the Morinville AAA Arena. The Silent Ice Center, a new state-of-the-art entertainment facility in Nisku, features 2 sheets of ice, a 1,600-seat arena, as well as Summit Restaurant. Learn more at silentice.com.
A lot of you love hockey season. But when it comes to construction season, You're not as excited unless you work for GS Construction. It's true. As one season is winding down, ours is winding up with all sorts of great projects to make the city we live in better. And our team is hiring. GS Construction is scouting for pipe layers, topmen, and heavy equipment operators. So if you want to score a great job, visit gsconstruction.ca today.
From the first pitch to the final out, catch Toronto Blue Jays baseball games live right here. Don't miss a moment of Blue Jays baseball this season. Sports 1440 is proud to be the home of Blue Jays baseball.
Start thinking spring road trips and off-road trips in your new Subaru Crosstrek. Stylish, rugged, and so many features. Standard on every Crosstrek. Subaru symmetrical all-wheel drive, EyeSight driver assist technology, heated seats, and LED steering responsive headlights. Plus, with interest rates from 0.99%, you'll love the affordable weekly payments. No waiting, immediate delivery available. Subaru Crosstrek. Visit Subaru.ca. Welcome to Uncommon. Welcome to Subaru.
I'm Dr. Vance Elliott. The goal of every one of the thousands of hair restoration procedures I've performed is a full, natural-looking head of hair. I work directly with my patients for the consultation, the procedure, and the follow-up, so we can achieve the best results possible. When people see what we accomplish, I don't want them to think, "Wow, great hair transplant." I want them to think,
"Wow, great hair."
Go to drvanceelliott.com and contact us today.
Your favorite teams, your favorite sports. This spring, get all the action at Selly Sports Bar and Lounge. Never a bad seat in the house. Plus, the perfect playoff menu with something for every sports fan, including daily food and drink features. From great goals to thrilling three-pointers to huge home runs. Spring brings the best to the big screens at Selly Sports Bar and Lounge at all 3 Century Casino locations, Edmonton, St. Albert, and Century Mile.
Every day is game day at Century Casino.
Have your sports curiosity cured with the Kevin Karius Show. This is Sports 1440.
All right, welcome back to the big program. 825 in Edmonton. Eddie Steele just said, you got to ask the listeners to text in if they know this song or that song. What?
See if they know. The real ones will know.
Like, what is it?
It's going way. This will be a 90s
Did
movie.
you request this?
No, I didn't. Duke put it on. Duke knows me. Man. No, Duke. Come on, brother. Just because Duke knows me shows a little bit of love. No, Duke knows this one. This is a 90s movie. They'll probably come flooding.
A 90s movie.
Yeah.
And you
yuck.
Goofy movie? Jordan just
There it
texted Goofy movie?
Yeah.
Oh. It's from the Goofy movie. Kyle says, Husks says Goofy. Bang, bang, bang.
Look at that. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah. They know.
Wow.
The real ones know, man.
So,
Proline. Wasn't it? Or what was it? Powerline. Proline. Too many L's on that.
Powerline bench says, yeah. A lot of text coming in right now. 833-401-1440. Doc DL says, hey, KK, I'm listening on iHeartRadio. A little bit of a delay here. With all this talk of Bruce Cassidy, has anyone asked the question why Vegas turned their game around after he was fired? And what flaw that he may have had? The one thing that I can recall in player interviews after was Mitch Marner said, we got our swagger back.
Yeah, I heard that. Yeah.
So I don't know if I'm answering the question to you, Doc, here, but maybe that's what they lost under Cassidy, and they got it back with Tortorella. This is just from Mitch Marner. So
this is my opinion on this, actually, and that's a really good question. Cassidy, from what we've heard, is kind of no nonsense, his way or the highway.
Mm-hmm.
Tortorella has this same type of appearance outwardly, But from what I hear, the players love playing for him. Not just Vegas. Like over the years, like apparently he really looks out for his players. He's a player's coach, right? He says some dink things in the media, but behind closed doors, apparently he's a good dude to his players.
Yeah.
So just that change of pace, right? Let the players be a little free instead of smothering them with the control. That's probably what it is.
I just was texting Frank Saravalli because we were discussing this on the weekend about Bruce Cassidy, and because players, their salary is regular season from the start to the beginning, right? Start to the end, pardon me. So like if you let's just say during the playoffs, you can get some bonus money and you can get playoff money, but it's not part of your salary.
No.
Separate. So, like from basically, so like May, June, July, August, September, whatever you want to call it, you don't get paid. You're not getting your check.
Nope.
So I asked Frank, because we were talking about this with Cassidy. I said, well, are coaches the same as players? He said, some are, but some aren't. Some are year round. Some are like the players too. That's just what Frank just texted me. I think more are year round, but some are not. So my question was like if you were the owner of the Vegas Golden Knights and you're still paying him right now, would you go, well, maybe, you go ahead and talk to
at a certain point.
Because if Bruce Cassidy's making what, $4.5 million,
and then Torts gets a bump.
Yeah, but if I'm the owner and I'm paying, I know you're a billionaire, but if I'm paying out $500,000 a month to someone that I don't need to be paying,
just to stick it to Edmonton, essentially at this point.
So, and I said, is Cassidy one of those guys? And Frank didn't know. He said, I'm not sure on that one. Because, he said some are, some aren't.
Mm-hmm.
So, Dallas says it's all psychological. Once players lose their trust in their coaches, they just start going through the motions, even pro athletes. Oilers definitely lost the trust here, he says. I don't know. I mean,
I would say there's truth to that. Not so much in football, but with these guaranteed contracts, KK.
Yeah. You could go back, as I said, when Jay Woodcroft was fired, and I knew this I came from inside the room, and I was told this, that the players they understood it, but they weren't happy about it. Right. So I don't think they lost the trust of Woodcroft at that point. So
management, dude. Yeah, it's a fine line, man. It's a fine line. In hockey, though, boy, they turn them over like hotcakes.
Yeah. Bad Captain texting. I watched the Elks game. I was impressed with, I think he's texting in, but not quite sure what he's writing here. Impressed with the backup quarterback and the kicker. So I'm sure he's talking about Powell.
Yeah. I mean, both. Zabrowski as well.
Yeah.
He had a good game, and he's a very good athlete, Zabrowski.
Well, would he have the strongest arm out of anyone or not?
Well, Powell's got a big gun.
Yeah.
Powell's got a cannon arm. Maybe Zabrowski's the biggest out of them all, physically.
Yeah. How about Speck? Is he any relation to the pitcher for the Cleveland Indians? Zabrowski.
That would be pretty cool, though.
Yeah. 833-401-1440. Marty texted in and wanted to know when was the last time a President's Trophy winner won the Stanley Cup. And it's 13 years ago as Chicago Blackhawks, 2013. And now it's looking like obviously Colorado's up against it.
Another one bites the dust.
Still, even when it's 3-0 with 6:45 left to go in the first period when they scored the third goal. Great move by Drury. The backhand off the post, actually both posts, I think it went in.
It was a sweet move.
I thought maybe, to be honest with you, I thought Torch was going to pull Carter Hart. I just thought, just for, not saying it was on him, but just for the fact that he might need a spark.
Yep, spark, slow the mo.
And it's funny, who got them going? It was Mark Stone,
the vet.
Yeah,
first game back and after missing a few.
Yeah. So he got he had 2 points last night. So, I mean, We're just watching the highlights too. So that was a Nathan McKinnon block,
That
and I
shot
think he
off.
just took it off the top of the knee, I think.
Yeah, on the outside. top.
Well, and what happens is like when you I think he bent down and it just got between where the knee pad is and the thigh pad.
Nervy in there too.
Oh yeah,
It's nervy in there. I had a jacked up knee over the weekend a little bit.
You what?
Walked my round of golf.
You walked?
Yeah. What do you mean you walked?
When? On Friday?
On Friday, yeah.
At the Derrick?
Yeah.
Come on now.
Of course, man. Eh? Brother's got it in him. But the knee was a bit swollen.
So are you going to tell
what?
The real Duke. Good morning, team. Did Eddie88 post his Friday golf score in the 1440 ledger? We should do Duke. Let's get a ledger going.
We should, starting next week.
Eddie, I don't know if you use any app when you're golfing, like either like to keep your rounds or for GPS or whatever. Do you?
No, I got my rangefinder.
Oh, okay, but I know.
No, I got buddies that do.
It's
the
very
app.
common these days, whether you're using the PGA Canada app,
Throw it in there and it
18
sticks.
birdies. There's a whole bunch of them. I would like to be your friend on that app, so then I can see every round that you
I'm
play.
down. I'll start it up.
And then way it's a little bit more accountable because you have to post it in there. And if you're putting it in there as an incorrect number, well, then you're just hurting your own.
No, I'm not a liar.
Your
like
own
that.
numbers.
No,
Whereas
no,
like
no,
you
no,
can just
no,
come
no.
in here each morning and tell us you shot whatever with no
No,
evidence
that's not
behind
me.
it.
That's not me, guys. That's not me. Can everybody
Okay, but-
see in the app? Like,
No,
if
only
I
your
get it?
friends.
I want everybody to be able to
Well,
see.
then just make everyone your friend, or you just make your thing public.
Go
and I think
public.
everyone
That's what
can
I'm
see it.
saying.
Yeah.
Well, let's start it from the
No,
Leduc
no,
round,
no.
right?
I got a round coming up Wednesday.
No,
Let's
we've
start
got to start
fresh.
with the Leduc round, right?
Why?
That was what was that number?
That was man.
What?
Why,
Pardon me, Josh? What was it? Yeah, 107. That's right.
bro? I haven't done that since I retired.
Oh.
Honestly, I haven't done that since I've retired from pro football. It's been
What?
8 years. In the hundreds like that, man. I
Yeah.
haven't.
What was the Derrick round?
96.
Isn't that crazy though? Like, let's just say you shoot 95, right? So you're halfway through. You're only one or two more lost balls and another bad shot away from hitting the century mark. But you're also the flip side, one or two, and you guess you didn't lose any balls, Eddie, you said, but like just a few less shots away from hitting the 90 mark, which is a pretty good round for a
I can tell you,
regular run of the mill golfer. At least for me, I get like I'm a bogey guy. So
Exactly.
when
I'm a
I
bogey
hit
guy.
90, I'm very happy.
yeah, I can tell you where it happens. It's
Mm-hmm.
the handful of bad that just create chaos. It's the handful of bad.
Now this 97 that you was 96.
man. Okay, Josh Fenwick.
96.
inflating
Now,
these
is this
numbers.
a real 96?
It's true, man. It's true. I have no reason
Who
to
can
lie.
attest to this? Who's the
Chris buddy who I was playing with, he was keeping score. I don't even have the scorecard. I haven't had a scorecard or kept score once in any rounds.
because Duke? Don't you think like when we were in Leduc there,
Oh, Chris
Like,
just texted.
the
What's my guy
107
say?
was probably could have been closer to 110 or
Like it was generous.
I thought it was generous.
Yeah,
well,
Chris just
because at
texted
a
it.
certain point when Eddie's trudging back to the cart, his head slunking. He looks like the character.
Ah!
Looks like the character off Peanuts, drag with the sad music playing, and then
Dragging
he just
his
like, so
blanket
Eddie,
behind
what'd you shoot on that hole? And he's just like, he mumbles that it was a 6
8
or a
or
7.
9
You're
or-
not at that point. You're not exactly be like, you sure about that? You're kind of saying, all right, yeah, well, good job, Eddie. You got a few good shots in.
Man,
yeah.
it's a crazy game. Doesn't make sense. But I'll be there. I'll be there, fellas. Oh man, what?
Crotch texts in and says, at this point, Eddie, just intentionally add a stroke so you hit the old jersey number. 97.
I know. You didn't have to say it, Kevin. I know.
Avro Harris says, if you can hit 90, you're probably better than 90% of the golfers in the world.
They say you're in the top 10% if you're busting 90s. Look at you. How you feeling good about yourself, huh?
Yeah.
Tarps off, McGee.
No, I was like, there was some like the Wiz yesterday.
And for full disclosure, you put up an 84.
Yeah, but Wiz shot 30 on the front yesterday. 30.
It's nice.
He
It's a
had,
stick.
he had 2 eagles, shot 30 on the front.
No mishits. Just putting it where he wants. Is he just sticking greens with the second shot
Well,
pretty
he-
much
he-
consistently?
He had 2 eagles. So, like on the first hole, he dunked it in from about 80, 90 yards, but he drove it 360. He had a drive yesterday that was 370 yards.
thanks for coming out.
Yeah.
Like, cool to see.
Yeah. I hit 3 wood in, and he's like hitting a whatever.
Yeah, he's a wedge, a gap wedge.
When we come back, we'll go in or out with Eddie Steele on Kevin Karius Show with the Duke of Delburne, Josh Fenwick on Sports 1440 AM radio. We're streaming on YouTube, X, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitch.
Mr. Rooter gets attacked by a Canada goose.
Oh, look at that. Another on-time arrival. Nothing stops Mr. Rooter from plumbing on schedule. You gotta be kidding me. Hello, Mr. Goose. I'm Mr. Rooter. Okay, this is what you train for. Through rain, sleet, or goose, the pipes get fixed.
For a plumber who does whatever it takes, Mr. Rooter.
When thirst strikes and your energy begins to fade, one hero rises above the rest. Introducing the Superpower Smoothie from Booster Juice. A bright sun-charged burst of mangoes, bananas, and blue spirulina. An out-of-this-world smoothie, just in time for the new Supergirl movie. Discover your power and channel your inner superhero. Fly into your local Booster Juice and experience it for yourself today. And see Supergirl. Only in theaters June 26th.
Hi, Mike here from Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. No one's ever accused car shopping to be fun. I mean, think about it. Awkward standoffs to get a price. Let me go talk to my manager. Dealers asking for your credit card, then melting your phone if you say no. See, not fun. At Northgate, I promise you a different experience. We make it fun. And you will like us, I promise. 0% financing, a great selection of new and pre-owned units. So for some fun, stop in today. 13215 97th Street or visit us online at northgategm.com.
You're in Northgate country.
At Hughes, it's all about getting in and out quick and clean. No cash, no problem. With Hughes' new tap and wash system, all you need is your debit or credit card to get your vehicle sparkling clean.
Find us at HughesCarWash.com.
You don't just need property services, you need problems handled. HireGood provides cleanup, debris removal, site monitoring, and safety attendance across Edmonton. We reduce issues on your property, keep spaces safe, and take pressure off your team. We resolve real problems for businesses while creating real impact because our team is built on second chances and they show up every day ready to prove it. Visit hiregood.ca or call and mention Jason Gregor for a first-time discount. HireGood. Stable jobs create stable lives.
This jersey was worn by the legend himself, signed and everything.
You can't just wear it.
I'm framing it with expressions and images.
Your prized jersey deserves better than the closet. Think Expressions and Images, your local custom framer since 91. You name it, we frame it.
Your all-access pass to the world of sports is Edmonton's only sports radio station.
From pre- and post-game hockey shows to in-depth analysis from your favorite commentators, the action never stops on Sports 1440.
Bashaw Concrete Products. From concrete and septic tanks to blocks, precast water pads, jersey barriers, and aggregates. Farmers, contractors, homeowners. Plan your next project at BashawConcrete.com. Family owned, over 60 years pouring. Bashaw Concrete Products. Once again, start here. BashawConcrete.com.
Your next great family adventure is just a raffle ticket away. Enter the Alberta Foster and Kinship Association's Great Family Adventure Raffle for your chance to win incredible prizes, including the first prize, a Sea-Doo pontoon cruise boat worth over $70,000. Every ticket sold helps provide vital resources to the everyday heroes raising children through some of life's hardest circumstances. Buy your tickets before the live draw on June 5th. Get yours at rafflebox.ca/raffle/the Great Family Adventure Raffle. License number 766115. Open to Alberta residents 18 plus only.
You're listening to Sports 1440 and watch us on YouTube, Facebook, and X.
Sports 24/7. We are Sports 1440.
All right, welcome back to the big program, 8:42 in Edmonton, and time now for In or Out, brought to you by Pro Solutions. If you need fast AC service, Pro Solutions offers expert repairs, tune-ups, even installs with flexible financing. Book your appointment now at prosolutionsinc.ca.
Okay, you know what? Moving too fast. Bottom line, are you in or you out?
In or out of what?
No time for questions, just action. In or out?
Well, then I'm out.
I'm sorry, Jet. Actually, you're already in.
Are you in or are you out?
On Sports 1440.
I thought you would go, I'm in, Bob. We would have had a really cool moment, but you kind of ruined the whole thing.
Bro. Get 90s. Hit a 90s.
All right, welcome.
Get out of here, man.
Pete Panotsky just came in from K97 and said, what am I going to put up, an Eddie Steele number today? 90, because he's playing at Beaumont and Colonial.
And then Benny, he says, what's that? Benny says 107.
Oh,
Panotsky says,
yikes.
I'm not playing 48 holes.
Ruthless.
Poor Eddie.
Ruthless.
All right, Duke, let him buck.
Stanley Cup playoffs last night. The Vegas Golden Knights are a 3-0 deficit comeback. Beat Colorado and VGK now the 3-0 series lead in the Western Conference Final. Just a little look ahead here. I think the Vegas, they're on the ropes. They got to figure something out. They got Cale Makar back, and it helped a little, but in his current state, I don't know if he can help a lot. I think the Avs will again turn to Mackenzie Blackwood, making the switch in goal with their season now on the line.
Man, like Makar played 27 minutes last night.
Yeah, but and they talked about this on the broadcast, right? The injury is upper body.
Yeah.
So the skating and everything is not the issue. It's maybe more so, can he shoot? Can he pass? Can he maneuver the puck in the same manner that we're accustomed to seeing him doing? And I don't know if it stood out that he was unable to, but listen, we're talking about one of the best players in the world being hampered. Yeah, it's not going to be the full effort there.
Yeah, well, I'm in on Blackwood starting. I mean, Wedgwood, 3 goals last night. 4 goals. 3 of them came at even strength. 1 was on the power play, then the empty netter too. So I'm probably going back to Blackwood. And to be honest with you, it's almost like a coin toss for me. Who knows what you're going to get with these guys right now. But, with Makar being so banged up, you saw McKinnon. McKinnon barely played last night too, 18 minutes. The minutes for Brett Kulak, I was pretty, when I was looking at the stats, 15 minutes. That's it.
Well, low.
Like he's been up to 24,
Yeah,
25
totally.
with
That's low.
overtimes, so. But yeah, to your point, Duke, and to the question, I will go, yes, I am in on Mackenzie Blackwood getting the start tomorrow night.
And it was Wedgwood who played yesterday,
Wedgwood
correct?
was in.
Yeah, I'm going to be in too. At this point, when you're down 3-0, you're flip-flopping. You're a fish out of water trying to pull at anything. So I'm assuming they'll flip and try and get any type of spark they can find, but being down 3-0, we know what the stats say. It's not pretty.
Well, it's, you look at where the Oilers were. They were down 3-0 to Florida, came back. It's hard just to beat a team 4 straight games. Never mind. That's why you don't see very many. Like, I could see Colorado winning a game here, but I don't know if they can win 4.
Nah, that's tough, man. It's really tough.
So Blackwood, so far, he did see action in 3 different games in the Minnesota series. They came in relief and then started and won, and then started the next game and then was pulled after just 20 minutes after he gave up 3 goals on 13 shots. So it's like they were balanced. They were back and forth all season long. And as a tandem, they won the Jennings Trophy, fewest goals against in the entirety of the NHL. So Wedgwood has largely been running with the baton here for the most part in the playoffs, but I do think it's not like you're turning around to an unknown or something like that. Yeah. This is a guy that the team has a lot of trust in. So it's just a matter of maybe changing up the vibe a little bit here. Although I think in the elimination game, it's always kind of a tough spot to be put into.
If Blackwood isn't injured, Duke, do you think that Wedgwood gets as many starts as he did?
Yeah, it's a good question. And I mean, if he continued to play at that level, even without an injury, I think they showed an affinity to just going with the guy that was running hot with it. And to start the year was McKay. Well, to start the year, both guys were just nails. And then when Blackwood fell to injury, Wedgwood kind of just picked up the slack. So if he'd continued that and Blackwood just ran along kind of the same, I think he probably would have still earned maybe not quite as many, but still a fair share of the split, no doubt about it. He wouldn't have been a traditional backup and only playing 20, 25 games, right? I think it would have been well more than that still.
Yeah.
Out east tonight, the Habs and the Canes play game number 3 from Montreal. This series all tied at 1 after a lopsided loss in the series lid lifter and narrow overtime victory via Nick Ehlers winning goal on Saturday night. I think Carolina, they continue to push back in a big way. They win by 2 or more tonight at the Bell Center, covering the always chased puck line.
So I got a feeling you're doing some sprinkling on this.
I might.
Is that what the line is?
Yeah,
Carolina?
Almost always. Oh, yeah, Carolina will still be favored in this game. No, I haven't even looked at it.
But why 2 or more? I'm confused by your reasoning. It's why do you think it's? I think it'll be tight.
Because I think I
think Carolina's going to put the boots to them?
I predicted a tight game on Saturday, and we got that. And tonight, I think Carolina's just like they're getting their feet under them. When you're coached, and Montreal's coached well too, but coached as well as a team like Carolina is, I think they get better the more times they play an opponent. And hey, right hand up. That has not been the track record for this team in conference finals under Rod Brindamore. 19 against the Bruins, Panthers a couple different times over the past number of years, swept every time, right? But that's not to say that they haven't learned from those. I think this is the best version of their team. If we're rolling all things in, and I think they get better as the series goes. So I'll take the Canes to win by a couple tonight.
And Montreal, are they not 6-0 coming off a loss throughout the playoffs? I believe
they are.
So I'm out. It's going to be tight. I don't think Carolina wins by 2 or more.
I'm going to be with Eddie here too, Duke. So, I'll be out on this one. I think Montreal's going to win tonight.
All trends get bucked eventually. And I'm picking Montreal's bounce back trend to come to a close tonight.
Well, I hope you get it, Moneybags.
I need it.
What kind of sprinkling are we talking here, Duke?
I don't know. What do you mean? I'll just bet the Hurricanes -1.5.
All right.
Got to keep it modest, know your limit, stay within it.
Yeah.
Speaking of Szechuan Castle, Finney, when are we going?
Let's plan it for once Kevin leaves for holidays.
Oh,
go without it. Go without him. Over the weekend, Edmonton Elks open up their preseason schedule to win 34-16 over BC from out on the island. Best takeaway from the game. This is a little broad, but I think it fits here. The efficiency of the offense, in which they get contributions really across the board, and a pretty tidy afternoon of work for the group.
Yeah, I'm going to go in on this one, and we talked about that word rhythm, and Ed Hervey brought it up, last week on the program. I can't imagine how difficult it would be to try to achieve that with, the amount of personnel going in and out. And then think about this. How many times have we mentioned, Eddie, on this show, like go back to the Oilers and guys on the fourth line, and how you have to be effective with your 7 or 8 minutes. Well, it's the same thing here, man. You go in for a couple of and you're playing for a job. So you have to have that mentality.
Absolutely.
So, and people disagree with my point there about how you have to make something happen with the time allotted that you're playing. And you have to.
That is the truth of it.
Yeah.
Man.
So how do you get into the rhythm if you're playing 7 minutes a game?
Okay. So if you're a backup defensive tackle and you're in a rotation, the starters are playing 35 to 50 plays a game. You might only get maybe 20 plays a game. And not all of them are going to be in great opportunities where it's second and long. You're coming in just to pass rush. I got the text too, Kevin. I got a good laugh about that. SKS looking to set up Chinese food, but you have to make the best of your reps. Yes. KK. It doesn't matter if it's 2 minutes time on ice. When you're out there, you have to make the best of it and make the coach play you more. If you're getting 15 plays, well, you better shine in those 15, because when game film comes out the next day and you're watching it and you're not having success in those 15 plays, guess what? You're only going to get 12 next game. Yep. That's the only way you can do it, man. That's pro sports.
Yep. So to your point, Duke, and the question, I'll be in. I was impressed with it.
Yeah, they only punted a couple times, 2 for 3 for touchdowns inside the red zone. They did not give up a sack. as well at the offensive line position. So there's just a lot of really encouraging numbers. And like you guys, I didn't watch the game in real time. I was down in Black Falls looking after my nieces and nephews while my sister was playing ball. But there's a pretty comprehensive game recap. It's 15 minutes long. You can watch on the team's YouTube page. So you get a pretty good impression of how the game went. And yeah, it's a very encouraging sign for a road game in the preseason where, listen, the Lions weren't exactly icing their A-club roster, but there's plenty of starters out there all the same.
It's a very impressive performance. I'll be honest with you guys, just understanding what the preseason is and how sloppy it can be and usually is, to see offensive performance of over 450 yards, not just by one unit, but by the entire unit, depth guys and whatnot. That is super encouraging.
Yeah, the ball was spread around. Like you said, the three different quarterbacks contributing. The number of receivers that all got touches on the ball and had whatever, at least a few grabs was a pretty decent list. And then a couple good contributions from depth running backs because both primary guys stayed home for the weekend. So yeah, really encouraging opening weekend for the Double E. We'll see if they can follow it up at home down at Clark on Friday. On the hardwood, New York Knicks can punch their ticket through to the NBA Finals for the first time since 1999 with a win tonight in Cleveland. Cavaliers have been good on home court so far these playoffs, but they did, of course, drop game number 3, barring the historic comeback never been done in the NBA to erase a 3-0 deficit in the playoffs. I think Cavaliers head coach Kenny Atkinson will be out of a job after the season wraps after just his second season with the team, making the playoffs, in fact, finishing as the top seed just last year.
Yeah, I mean, that timeout thing from earlier in the series.
That was
one timeout and a 33-8 run or something, whatever it was. So I'm going to go, I think that this is going to be, especially if they get swept here, man. Holy smokes, yeah. So I'm going to be in Duke. I think that he will be on the outside looking in as far as a head coaching job goes with the Cavaliers here.
Yeah, when they get swept tonight, he'll be out. There will be some changes. It's tough, though, because Cleveland has had a really good team. They've had a good run the past couple of years. So you wouldn't think you would move on, but that was a debacle. That was that first game, I believe, where he didn't call the timeouts to end the run. Yeah. That was some major mismanagement. And then just getting out coached throughout the series here. I don't think it's the players themselves that are just significantly getting outplayed. I think the coaching matters.
Yeah, was coach of the year last year for a 64-win Cavaliers team that they ended up losing in the second round, of course. But yeah, first in the division last year, second this season in a 52-win campaign. There's only one way I could see this not being the case, and that is if the Cavaliers decide to pursue LeBron James as a swan song for him back in Ohio, and they say to LeBron, do you want Kenny Atkinson as the head coach? And if he says, yeah, this guy was the coach of the year last season, I want him still behind the bench with the continuity with the rest of the roster, then he will still be the head coach. They will essentially kowtow and bend over to whatever LeBron James wants in the effort to bring him back for one final season in Cleveland, which would be a great finale, especially because they're going to be a good team again. Most indicators would point towards. Finally, Canadian legend Mike Myers turned 63 years old today, going all the way back to his SNL days, parlaying that into a pretty prolific film career, comedian, writer, director. He's done it all. Picking his best role probably, I think, boils down to a choice of 3 options. But I'm going to go the voice-only role, and that was his as Shrek in the original film as his best.
Well, what are the other 2 then?
Well, I think the other 2 are Austin Powers and Wayne's World.
Wayne's World, yeah.
I'm out.
Yeah, I'm out
on
too.
Shrek. Groovy, baby, yeah.
I do love Austin Powers. The first 2 in particular are just they're all time, and they hold up too. If you go back and watch them, they're still very funny. But I just think, Shrek is so well written.
No, I'm out too.
Where are you at?
Well, come on now. You know what it is, eh?
Really? Well, yeah. Now cue up Kevin doing
Let's
his
hear it.
Dr.
Come
Evil.
on, Kevin. Come on. Let me go out on this, please.
My childhood was typical. Summers in Rangoon, luge lessons in winter. My father would womanize. He would socialize. He would make outrageous claims like he invented the question mark. When I was insolent, I was placed in a burlap sack and beaten with reeds. Pretty standard stuff.
Oh, it's a hard knock life for us.
You know what? The one when he had that spot role, like a bit part in Bohemian Rhapsody. Pretty decent.
I
there.
figured you might bring that up because I know how much you like that movie.
I love that movie. Yeah.
But it was like
it was just a bit part.
Very like I forgot he was even in it.
Queen.
That's so
you like
good.
that, eh?
I love that, Kevin.
He
When
was
you
in,
first
he
hit
was
me
in
with that-
Mystery Alaska.
Yes, he was the he played
Donnie Schulzhofer.
Yeah, he played the color commentator.
Oh, okay. So yeah, I
Yeah.
haven't seen that movie in a long time. But yeah,
The
I did
one
not know
line
that.
from that movie, and he goes, "If you're not bringing a big bag of knuckles to the party," and he,
Wayne's World was good, but no, it's got to be the Powers. Got to be.
You don't want Cat in the Hat, Eddie?
No.
Or the much maligned Love Guru?
No.
There's another good hockey tie-in. That movie was hockey focused.
A lotta.
Beerman says he was great in 54 as well.
Never seen it.
Team Dean says, I married an axe murderer.
What was the other one that he's in where he's the murderer? Isn't there one?
Well, no, you're thinking of Michael Myers.
Yeah, that's that's right.
That's the what series is that? Friday the 13th?
Yeah,
that's right. That's right.
What? That's Halloween is Michael Myers, right?
That's it.
Yeah, he's got a little crossed up there, Eddie.
A little crossed up.
Now, Wayne's World is pretty good too, obviously, because they have obviously it's in Chicago, but what's the donut shop? Was it Stan Mikita's or something?
Yeah,
Was
that's
it?
right.
Yeah.
And like Wayne's World for me, it's always just goes back to the Alice Cooper cameo.
Yeah.
Like that's all time.
Yeah.
This guy know how to party or what?
Westside Jay says, "Don't stop there, KK. You got to get to the other line about the shaven. You know what?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh man,
that's priceless.
Yeah, I did that bit at Stage 13 in in the late 90s. That time, Duke, remember I was telling you about when I was there for 3 days, tarp off.
Oh yeah, right.
For 3 days, and that's when I met what's his nuts there from Nickelback.
Oh yeah, Chad.
Yeah, Kroger. Yeah. Anyway, I was doing that thing, that bit part there, and people were kind of
it's priceless
falling at that. So
when you first dropped that on us a couple of years back, caught me so off guard. It was so funny.
I wasn't prepared today. I just saw that last question there, number 5. So anyway, I'm out on it, Duke, for sure. Eddie's out too.
Yeah, oh yeah, I'm out.
That's In or Out, brought to you by Pro Solutions. Check them out at prosolutionsinc.ca. What's going on here, Eddie?
Well, going down to do the nation. Gonna go and do the pod.
Yeah,
Elks Nation. We got a lot to talk about from the game that happened. So just gonna bust that down. A little recap. Look forward to.
Are you
this.
by yourself here, or what's going on?
Yeah, it'll be me and producer. So
Oh.
there'll be 2 of us. But
And Declan's in Italy.
Declan is gonzo.
What's going on there?
I don't know. He just dropped it on me. He's oh, by the way, see you in 2 weeks.
Eddie, there's no desire to invite in somebody to help you with these duties. Maybe a particular 30+ year veteran of broadcasting covering this football team.
So a guy like Kevin, you're saying?
Well, maybe Kevin's
guy like Mr.
Kevin's jonesing to come on other people's shows
I'll
all the
go
time.
on Frank's show before I do this.
Well, okay, so
stop
never.
it.
Frank will never invite you. The only Kevin is a staple with Scotty Mitchell on every second Monday morning down in Camrose, and then your old buddy Norm Peterson. Other than that, Kev just circles around waiting for somebody to call him. Wanted to talk sports.
Well, actually, we will have you on because it'll be my turn to be in the big chair
Okay,
hosting.
but when we got to do it on a Saturday? then?
Yeah, we'll do it like a Saturday or maybe Saturday. We'll do it a Saturday or Sunday.
Now, how about my fee?
Talk to the boss.
No, I'll
seriously.
Like what time
We'll
on
do
a
it.
Saturday?
We're flexible.
Plus, I thought we were getting this. You got some landscaping. I thought we were going to get this.
Yeah,
done
I've gone in a different direction. I don't need your services.
What do you
but
mean a
thank
different direction?
Well, maybe when I get this charcuterie board that I've heard about a year
what
ago.
board? A what board?
Charcuterie. What charcuterie? Charcuterie. Charcuterie.
I had to buy another steel ring because I can't find the other one. This board is costing me around $100 to make.
Well, why do you keep losing parts on it?
Triple C and a truck says special edition of green and gold in the garden. How about that?
Oh, I like that.
So we got the garden all humming now.
Oh,
Eddie.
I bet, man. Today's going to be a big day for you.
Yeah.
You got work to do.
Well, I'm going to be watering. It's dry.
Shirt off watering. Do you not have a sprinkler?
Yeah. But
Why do you have to
no,
manually hand bomb everything?
Because that's what the pros do.
And on that note, have a good
seriously,
one.
Like when you hand water, you know exactly.
Yeah,
what,
I get it. I get it. But I got my yard's too big to do that.
So what are you talking about?
I got too big of a yard.
Different perspective here, or whatever you want to call it, for your landscaping. Because you asked me.
I don't really trust your grading and whatnot.
My what?
I need to grade it out so
You mean
the water
like,
drains.
Okay. Do you have do we need to get a skid steer in there or what?
No. I went a different direction, Kevin.
Like what different? I'd like just what?
I have a
direction?
company coming to help, so I'm doing the manual labor of getting the rocks out because that's a big cost. But in terms of getting the soil in there and getting it level and getting it graded properly, because there is an angle and I don't want it to pool and just kill the grass that I lay down.
He doesn't trust your landscape, your surveying to get the grade right.
Yeah, that's really what it comes down to. I love you.
Get the get the tripod out there with the.
Actually, what you can do is, man, come help me shovel some rock. Help a brother out. You can help me do some of that real grunt work.
There's
sweat equity.
Eddie, there's foreman, and then there's the grunt workers, okay?
You're a foreman, eh?
Yes.
Actually, hey,
Can you operate a skid steer?
No, I can't. You're not allowed to say foreman anymore. It's actually called a four-person.
But you, if you could, like, if you went in a skid steer, do you think you could?
Oh, for sure. Man, get me on. I worked at a golf course, guys, like for summer.
Doing what?
Everything.
Eddie, driving
Everything.
a skid steer is a little different than driving a golf cart. I hate
Nah,
to
not golf carts. I did everything from filling up the golf carts with gas. That's how I started there. To moving on up to running equipment, man. Oh, man.
What equipment did you run?
I mean, the most prestigious job there is cutting greens. And let me tell you, I burned a couple bad my first go around. A couple real bad ones. But cutting greens, that's a lot of pressure now. It's a lot of pressure. Don't look at me sideways. You know that's the most important thing. That's an important job.
But I wouldn't have trusted you operating anything, like any kind of equipment.
Why do you sell me so short? I'm more than just a bod. I'm more than just a goddess.
We've seen you on a golf cart, Eddie. Breaking windows.
Breaking it. That's funny.
Good stuff, Eddie. Great show. We'll see you on Friday.
All right, boys.
You got a golf game, by the way, till
Wednesday. Playing
where?
Wednesday. Legends. Wednesday afternoon.
That's pretty wide open there. You can
I
be
won't.
okay.
I'll be going another round without losing a ball.
Well, that shouldn't be your goal.
Well, that's clean, no penalty strokes. Of course, that's not the end game, but
I'll go.
it starts there.
So Wednesday, I'll go over under 95.
You're. What are you doing?
Over.
You're over. Oh, that's shameful.
Yeah.
I'm well under.
No,
well under.
not at Legends.
Guaranteed.
No, those greens are tricky for
Here,
you.
get out of here, man. Take care, KK.
Thanks, Eddie. Good show, buddy. Coming up in the 9 o'clock hour, we will check in with Alan Mitchell coming up at 9:20. We've got another edition of Cam and Eggs with Cam Tate in the 10 o'clock hour. Nick Ashburn, Blue Jays Happy Hour, and then Kristen Chilton from the NHL on ESPN coming up at 10:20. Before all that time now, for a Sports 1440 update brought to you by Fusion Promo Marketing. Expand your brand, high-quality promotional products for businesses, sports teams, and corporate events. Get noticed at fusionpromomarketing.ca, and that's Fusion with a Z. Here is the Duke.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
Stanley Cup Playoffs Western Conference Final last night from Vegas. The Knights are a 3-0 deficit to come back and take it 5-3 over the Avalanche. VGK now took a 3-0 series lead, 1 win away from advancing through to the Stanley Cup Final. IIHF World Hockey Championships this morning. Group play continuing. USA leading Hungary 2-0. And the Czechs currently trail Norway 2-1 still to come. Great Britain will take on Germany while Slovenia goes up against Italy. In the association last night, San Antonio Spurs bounce back in a big way as they take game number 4 over the OKC Thunder, 103-82. Victor Wembanyama with 33 points. That best of 7 now knotted at 2 games apiece. And the league also announcing its first, second, and third All-NBA teams yesterday. SGA joining Nikola Jokic and Victor Wembanyama as unanimous and near unanimous selections to the first team. Luka Doncic and Cade Cunningham round out that group of players, as well as longtime members of these lists. LeBron James, Steph Curry, Giannis Antetokounmpo did not qualify for any of the 3 clubs. From the majors, the Blue Jays dropped their series finale against the Pirates, 4-1 the final. Tough news for the Jays as well, as both Dylan Cease and Vlad Guerrero Jr. left the game due to injury. Finally, from the clay at Roland Garros, Canadian Leila Annie Fernandez will have her first round matchup later this morning, currently scheduled to start just after 9 o'clock. Coming up in hour 3 of the Kevin Karius Show, we'll be joined by Alan Mitchell from the Lowdown with Low Tide, and we'll hear today's edition of Cam and Eggs. I'm Brandon Douglas at your Sports 1440 update.
This is Sports 1440, a Stingray radio station broadcasting on Treaty 6 territory.
Download the free iHeartRadio app and listen to CKJR wherever you go.
Everything is going to be okay. If your debt has you feeling like you're in a free fall, you have options. I'm Dan McDicken, a licensed insolvency trustee with Faber. Becoming debt-free is possible, and a personal bankruptcy or consumer proposal will get you there. Schedule your free Faber Focus session at faber.ca today. You'll learn how a consumer proposal allows you to eliminate your debt by paying a percentage of the amount owed without interest. At Faber, we'll tackle your debt.
Hear that? That's your entry calling. Go Auto is sending you to the biggest football event in the world, live in Vancouver, with tickets, flights, and a hotel stay for 2. To enter the contest, just text GAME to 780-777-7777. That's GAME to 780 all sevens. Go Auto, get in the game.
Say hello to your new favorite drinks. Introducing new McCafe Refreshers. Icy cool, undeniably refreshing, and available in 3 flavors. Strawberry watermelon, mango pineapple, and blackberry passion fruit. Only at McDonald's.
The Edmonton Riverhawks return Friday. Join the best party in the River Valley with 27 theme nights like Paws in the Park, Star Wars, and Margaritaville. Don't miss opening weekend. Tickets start at $21 at tickets@gohawks.ca.
Don't let equipment failure stop you cold. At AWS Welding in Nisku, our factory-trained service techs are on hand for all welding equipment repairs. We're a fully warranted center for Miller, Lincoln, and ESAB. And we service all makes and models. Proper, regular service extends the life of your gear and keeps it running at peak capacity. Don't wait for a breakdown. Book your service appointment today at 780-979-0470. AWS Welding. We make it happen.
For over 60 years, the folks at Diablo Boots have been selling the best Canadian-made boots. Handcrafted in Winnipeg, Canada West makes the best quality cowboy, biker, and work boots for Diablo Boots with replaceable soles and heels. Why buy cheaper quality like Ariat, Justin, and Red Wing made in China when Canadian-made is better? Support Canada's workers and Diablo Boots for the best boots. So save on boots by Save On Foods. That's Diablo Boots, 3340 Gateway Boulevard on the east side of Save On Foods. Canada West and Diablo Boots, the 2 best names in the boots business.
Hi, it's Jason McCoy. You know, music's given me a lot of great moments, but nothing means more than time with my dad. When he was diagnosed with prostate cancer, a simple PSA blood test was key in detecting it early, and we got more years, more laughs, and more memories. Guys, it's a quick test that just might end up saving your life.
Join the Princess Auto Motorcycle Ride for Dad in Edmonton, Saturday, June 13th. Register or donate at ridefordad.ca. For the most physically demanding jobs, Carhartt's Rugged Flex technology provides extra stretch where it's needed most to help you crouch, kneel, bend, or crawl with ease. Rugged Flex pants give you a maximum mobility advantage every time you put them on. Find the largest selection of Carhartt Rugged Flex at all 3 of our Edmonton job site workwear locations and online at jobsiteworkwear.ca.
Job site workwear, tough different tough jobs.
Just in time for the morning skate. This is the Kevin Karius Show on Sports 1440.
All right, welcome back to the big program. 912 in Edmonton. Text line 833-401-1440. Sean writes in, hey, Kevin, for this soccer game next week at Commonwealth Stadium, will the new turf be ready, or are they bringing in grass for the game? It is going to be it's a natural grass pitch for the soccer game, and that's Canada and Uzbekistan. It's June 1st is the game. So it's a natural grass pitch. And again, Canada will open up the World Cup. I guess it would be 11 days later on June the 12th against Bosnia Herzegovina. So this is a big game, this June 1, the friendly, if you want to call it that. But you've got to really be, I would say, you're playing this game like it's, you're like it's a World Cup kind of game, because you want to be, ready to go. I don't know if Alphonso Davies, Duke, have you heard in the sense of he's going to be available for this game, or is he not quite ready yet?
Yeah, the
so.
most recent setback kind of put it that it's going to be right there, like in terms of the opener of the tournament. So for the
June
friendly,
game,
the June 1st game here, I would be very surprised if he would be available for that, because even his status, I think, for the tournament opener is very much still in question.
Yeah. So it's kind of bad for local soccer fans that would like to see, a local product, one of the best in the world here, and playing for Team Canada ahead of the World Cup. But again, as Duke just said, the priority is to be ready for June 12th, not June 1. So if that extra, 10, 11 days helps them, then so be it. 833-401-1440. Dirk says, the SNL Japanese game show skit with Mike Myers and Chris Farley is absolutely hilarious, because we were talking about Mike Myers' his 63rd birthday. Have you seen this one, Duke? This SNL Japanese game show
Off the
skit?
top of my head, it doesn't ring a bell,
neither.
but if I were to get shown it, it might maybe. I might look it up here and see if it rings a bell.
Josh Fenwick, have you seen this one? The SNL Japanese game show skit with Myers and Chris Farley. I mean, anything with Chris Farley is obviously top notch, but I don't recall this one. I don't know. Do you?
I don't recall this one either. No.
I wonder what we'll have to punch that one up. But thanks to Dirk for sending that in. What's your favorite Chris Farley skit? Is it?
Oh, come on! It's Van Down by the River.
The other one that gets a lot of legs when you because it's about busting up and cracking up your coworkers is the pepper guy, and that's
right
with
more pepper, sir.
So that's that with Adam Sandler, and he's the pepper guy, but Farley's trying to bust him up, and he's quite successful at it. But yeah, I mean, who's in the Van Down by the River? It's Applegate and who?
Applegate and David Spade. Yeah.
And they're like basically their heads are tucked into their armpits. Because
he's hilarious in it. The funniest part of that whole thing isn't like the yelling or shouting. It is the constant readjustment of the pants and like grabbing his belt.
Hey, Beerman's on point with this too. Best Farley SNL skit is Chippendales with Patrick Swayze. I mean, that is,
Yeah.
You guys see that documentary, the Farley documentary?
No.
You haven't?
No.
It's really good.
really,
Worth the
really
watch.
good, yeah. His brother's really good in it too. And his brother's a comedian too, right? Older or younger?
I imagine younger.
I don't know. But yeah, that's kind of how the whole documentary starts, with him doing stand-up and then talking about his brother and things like that. But the Chippendales, you're right, Beer Man, with Patrick Swayze. I mean, Swayze is like, he is unbelievable in that. And then like just the fact that the two of them are talking, oh no, you're gonna be the number one guy here and blah blah blah. Kim in St. Albert says you will enjoy the Japanese game show skit. Yeah, so we'll have to look at that one. When we come back, it's Alan Mitchell. Usually we hear from him to lead things off, but we had Jordan Maximic on earlier in the show. So we'll check in with Alan Mitchell when we come back on the Kevin Karius Show with the Duke of Delburne and Josh Fenwick on Sports 1440 AM Radio. We're streaming on YouTube, X, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitch.
Are new McCafe crafted sodas just drinks or something more? Like Sprite Berry Bliss, Creamy Strawberry Coke, and Orange Dream. All swirled with fizzy flavor and topped with silky cold foam. Only at McDonald's. At participating McDonald's restaurants in Canada.
I've got some good news. If you've been thinking about a heavy-duty truck, the 2026 Ram 2500 Black Express is now at St. Albert Dodge. You've got 20-inch black aluminum wheels, black Mopar side steps, body color, bumpers and grille, and a sport performance hood. Available in all the colors for $68,990. Plus, new this year, Ram's best-in-class 10-year powertrain warranty. Now's the time. Head up the trail and see how easy it is to do business at St. Albert Dodge.
Come for Canada's largest trade shows, the biggest names in entertainment, exhilarating sporting events, and more. And stay for the experience at the Edmonton Expo Centre. Looking for the perfect place to host your next big event? From trade shows to galas, meetings, and concerts, the Edmonton Expo Centre has the space, event expertise, and service to make your next event unforgettable. With over 522,000 square feet of flexible event space, in-house catering, and operational expertise, they bring your biggest vision to life. Learn more at EdmontonExpoCenter.com today.
Hey there, I'm in the Fountain Tire sidecar, making a list of the things I'm doing this spring. 1. Saving you money, with up to 20% off select tires until June 13th. 2. Water skiing, tricky in a sidecar, but fun. And 3. Saving you more money, with mail-in rebates of up to $100 off a set of 4 select tires and $50 off a $150 service with the purchase of 4 select tires. Oh, that's 4 things. Oh well. Restrictions apply. Book online at fountaintire.com. Fountain Tire. We're on this road together, Canada.
It's coming. An unstoppable force that will turn your home into the Sweat Box.
Don't live in a summer blockbuster. Pro Solutions is your one-call solves-it-all expert for AC repairs, tune-ups, and new installations. With fast appointments and flexible financing, we'll make sure your home story has a comfortable ending. AC season is coming soon, so book today.
Lock in pre-season pricing today.
Visit prosolutionsinc.ca to schedule your service today.
From the first pitch to the final out, catch Toronto Blue Jays baseball games live right here. Don't miss a moment of Blue Jays baseball this season. Sports 1440 is proud to be the home of Blue Jays baseball.
Tired of the rough ride? Alberta used to be a leader in highway planning and construction, but years of neglect and cuts to maintenance are showing. You can see it, and your vehicle is feeling it. Infrastructure can last for years with a little TLC, but when repairs are deferred, minor issues become major reconstruction. We need action and a reliable capital plan. Contact your MLA and demand stable infrastructure funding. Find out how at fixourroads.com. A message from the Alberta Road Builders and Heavy Construction Association.
Have your sports curiosity cured with the Kevin Karius Show. This is Sports 1440.
All right, welcome back to the big program, 9:21 in Edmonton. Time now for the Puck Report, brought to you by Fountain Tire. And at Fountain Tire, we focus on one thing, and it is your vehicle. From tires to wheels to oil changes, vehicle repairs, we have you covered. Visit fountaintire.com to book your appointment today as we welcome in the host of the Lowdown with Low Tide, Alan Mitchell, to the big program. Good morning, Tide. How was the weekend, big fella?
It was very good. I enjoyed myself thoroughly. Lots of great sports. I
I couldn't watch it all, but I did a darn good job of getting close.
And what was on the agenda? What was on the menu for you to almost get to watching it all?
I basically I like to barbecue every once in a while, and so that was sort of my way of going about that. But it was, the NASCAR. The Indianapolis 500 really caught me. It was an exciting race. It really was. I got to say that I honestly I sort of faded car racing when Tony Stewart ran over that guy, but I felt like for some reason I watched the beginning of the race, and there was the pageantry and I like to hear the back home again in Indiana, which was great. And then the race was exciting. It was a really interesting race. I love open wheel racing the most, so I watched that quite a bit more than I thought I would.
Well, I mean, it was when you think about motorsports for the weekend, you got the Indy 500, the F1 in Montreal, Kyle Busch, obviously emotional on NASCAR circuit. So it was a magical weekend, really, when you think about it, for several, events. When you think about it, 3 big events in motorsports.
Well, you mentioned the Busch passing. That really kind of hit me. I watched closely during the era that he was, not that he was, finished or anything. He was 41 or something, but you sort of you pay attention to that, and you know who the superstars are, and reading back on the how it happened and how nobody knew, but he knew he was ill, and all of these things that occur. I mean, it just seems like it's somebody should have known, but obviously nobody did, and it just gives you an idea about how precious life is and how you have to hug the people you love.
Hey, yeah. Did you ever go down when they had the Indy here and even the Champ Car races? Did you ever go down to the airport?
Oh yeah, it was great. I went in Vancouver too, and it's a different world. It just is like the amount of money that's involved in like specifically open wheel, but NASCAR too, I'm sure, is just it's just furious. One time I was at the Weston Bayshore, and they seated us, and then they moved us, and I said, "Why did you move us?" And they said, "There's one of the drivers is here with his entourage." Well, his entourage was like 60 people, man. Like I don't want to foot the bill for that. Holy, it was amazing.
I was so lucky, Tide, when they had the Champ Car series here. I ended up in the pit crew, working in the pit crew with Bruno Giancara, and I ran the lollipop. You know what the lollipop is?
Yeah. Very cool.
Yeah.
So like that whole thing, that whole pit crew thing, I don't know if they do it anymore, but they used to do, NASCAR used to do, like the quickest to do it in the champion, pit crew or whatever. And watching those guys do their job, it's astounding. Like people always focus on when a tire goes, over and goes 10 miles or whatever, but they're just brilliant at it. They really are.
That was the coolest thing. Like for me to be just so close to seeing. And again, when you talk about how quick they work, and you're looking at basically a pit stop of 10 seconds to change 4 tires, fuel up, everything else. It was just remarkable to be a part of that. So, Alan Mitchell with us in Sports 1440. What did you think of that game last night, Ty? And hey, I'm sure you had it on your bingo card like everyone else. Vegas up 3-0 on Colorado.
I write for a living. I write for The Athletic, and I write these things, and then 3 weeks later, I'm like, God, I got to erase that. I mean, I'm writing, the Pacific Division is the doormat of the world, and Vegas comes out and look, they had lost that game. That game was done. Colorado, they were up, 3 Cobb, and you're like, okay, well, we're going to go, it'll be a series now. And they just have so much talent, and they're getting the goaltending, and they feel like they got a bounce from the coaching change. And quite frankly, Colorado looks wilted, and I know that people aren't 100% or whatever, but McKinnon's doing the same thing where there's frustration setting in. The visual is not good for Colorado, and they're down 3-0. Like, I'm not saying it's over, but it's over, man.
Well, you think about it and how banged up the Oilers were, and now you look at where McKinnon and Makar are. It's the same thing that Colorado's going through is what the Oilers went through.
Yeah, and it's I don't have the answer. I think that Oiler fans are highly critical of the coach, and the coach got fired, and the general manager. But when you're watching another city, Denver in this case, go through something similar, it just gives you an idea how searing and difficult it is to get to the Stanley Cup. The Oilers were there twice in a row, and that has to have some value.
We had so many texts this morning too about Vegas in the sense of everything that they've done as an organization. They've pissed people off. The whole Cassidy thing right now, but it doesn't seem to hurt them. They always seem to be they're going to be, I guess, 9 years in the league here, and they're going to be in 3 Stanley Cup finals.
Yeah, and the only thing I'll say is that Oiler fans talk to me all day, every day, and what they want, even though they don't like Vegas, what they want is ownership and management to be like Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
They want Carter Hart, and they want to not give permission to talk to the former coach. Even though people get mad at Vegas, I think many fans are secretly wishful that their team would be that way too. And maybe I'm wrong, but I think that for the Oilers fans, they feel if their club was a little more cutthroat, and I mean, you look at what Vegas does to its own players. Holy mackerel! If you aren't, if there's some better bauble on the free agent market, they'll punt you for nothing, and they're like that. I mean, when did they come into the league? 7 years ago, they made it to the final the first time. They won a Stanley, and now in 23, and then they punted their coach with very few games left. Brought Torts in there, and they're 1 game away from the final. I mean, I don't think it's a good way to run your business because I don't think there's much loyalty, but the results are what fans care about, and Vegas fans have to be over the moon today.
Alan Mitchell with us on Sports 1440. Why do you think Tortorella's made such an impact here? I mean, I think Mitch Marner said, well, he got our swagger back. I don't know. Is there something more to this or what?
Well, I think he does have that. We don't know what he's like. We all assume that he's just a jerk to people, but we don't know. And the word you get from coaches is that there's a lot of positives about Torts. But I think the fact that they had a coach who asked a lot of them and was piercing and uncompromising in what he wanted. Meant that when he was replaced, any coach was going to get what they call the dead cat bounce. Now, I'm not saying Tortorella hasn't done really good things, but adding Carter Hart has helped. And they're, like the goal they scored last night, Hurdle. I mean, that's just he was a 17th overall pick. He scored 300 goals in the NHL. He's 33. And the reason it went in the net is that he made a move and then he shot the puck. And there had to be a moment where the goalie didn't see it or didn't track it or whatever. And that's just a touch, feel, anticipation goal by a really, really good hockey player. And Vegas has those marbled throughout their roster. They won in 23 with 4 good lines and 3 good pairings, and they're going to do it. Well, I don't know if they're going to win the Stanley Cup, but I think they're going with something similar.
Don't you think Wedgwood has to have that one? And then to pony on that, do you think they go back to Blackwood for Game 4?
Wedgwood definitely has to have that. I wasn't it was from where he shot it, and it wasn't like a howitzer. You have to get something on that puck, and yeah, they have to make a goalie change. And people are online every day talking about the Oilers goaltenders suck, but the hot goalie is difficult to identify. The goalie who's playing lights out in May is difficult to identify in August. And that's what the general manager has to do. I don't know, why Hart's playing so well. And I mean, Dobish has been, really, really good. And nobody could have predicted that. So there's an amount of luck, involved in getting the right goaltender. Although, as I say that, the Montreal Canadiens seem to do it more often than anybody. So maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah. Alan Mitchell with us on Sports 1440. When you look at Vegas and, to get Mark Stone back, I thought that was such a big, big thing last night to get him back in the lineup. He's their captain. He's their leader. And they followed him. And he had a really good game last night. When you look at how he plays, and I mean, he might not get from point A to point B as fast as 50, 60, 70% of the guys in the league, but he just always seems to get the job done.
Well, he's like, in order to skate and play and produce the way he does at his foot speed, you have to be basically a hockey genius. And I think he is. He anticipates really well. You remember the goal he scored against Edmonton where he pickpocketed McDavid, the best player on the planet, but he just anticipates so well. And there are players in the National Hockey League who are indifferent about checking, and they shouldn't be, because Stone, of all the people in the world, tells you how much offense you can gain from that, and even just disrupting the other team and making sure they're not going down the ice and making good plays. I think he's one of the truly great hockey players in history in terms of thinking the game, and he shows it. And last night was another example. They're so much better with him on the team, and it's not because he's fast. It's just because he's so damn smart.
Mm-hmm. Alan Mitchell with us on the Kevin Karius Show here on Sports 1440. Oilers still in limbo as far as a coaching candidate or interview process and everything that you want to use in that terminology to find a new head coach. How long do you think this goes on for here, Tide?
Well, I think they'll end up with Laviolette. The dream of getting the Vegas coach, I think, has to. You can't go to the draft without a coach, and it looks like they're going to make the final, and that means another 2 weeks. So we're what, late May? It'll be June 10th or 15th if they give permission. We don't know for sure. So I think you've got to check down, and they've talked to Berube. I'm assuming they would talk to Laviolette. I think Laviolette's a little more creative. I have mentioned Jay Woodcroft, and people roll their eyes, but I think that he when he was the coach, the full year he was the coach of the Edmonton Oilers, they scored 325 goals. That's the highest total since 1988-89 among Edmonton Oilers teams. He had a way of getting this team offensively to do things they hadn't done in decades. And I think if you marry him to a defensive coach like Paul Coffey, then I think you might have something. Having said that, I don't think that's the route they're going to go. So I'm saying Laviolette, but I think it'll be either Laviolette or Berube, and we'll probably get that in the next 10 days.
Do you think Coffey's back?
No, that's one of the reasons I don't think they're going to hire Woodcroft. I think Coffey wants to be the GM, and I think the owner probably feels he owes him for his loyalty. So I think that's probably the next thing we'll see. Not this year, obviously, but over the next few years.
Yeah, I think Coffey's even higher up than that, don't you?
Could be. I mean, he could be the Jackson job. I mean, maybe that's how it rolls out. But I think Coffey has been, look, I saw Paul Coffey play hockey. And if you went back to 1987 and told me he was going to be this smart as a defensive coach, I would have laughed in your face. But you know what? He's a really smart guy. He knows what works, and he calms down that defense, and they make better plays when he's around. I'd love to have him on this team as a defensive coach. I'm sure the owner would too. But, he's probably called in more favors than he feels like he wanted to when calling Coffey, and Coffey's always answered. So I think there's a sense here that Coffey will move up the line here in terms of management.
Mm-hmm. Hey, back to the Stanley Cup playoffs. What do you think happens between Carolina and Montreal tonight?
Well, I think Carolina's got it now. That means they'll lose 3 straight, but I do think they have it. I think they have the formula. I think they've figured it out. They work really hard. There was a sense of invincibility about the way Montreal plays. I'm saying all of this, but you have to understand, I've been not a Montreal Canadiens fan since childhood, so I'm probably seeing through a certain lens. But I think Carolina needed that win, and they got it, and that was a big turning point in the series. We'll see. Maybe Montreal has an answer. They're a really good team, and they're going to be here for many years in a row. Carolina better win this spring because the future belongs to Montreal. I hate saying that, but it's true.
Well, I think with Scott Burnside, we've had him on the program several times. He was saying that Nick Ehlers goal was the biggest goal in the last 20 years since they won the Stanley Cup. So I'm kind of wondering, I think there's going to be such a feverish pitch, and the atmosphere in Montreal is going to be off the charts for this one. So I'm not ruling Montreal out here just yet, Tide.
Oh, well, I'm not either, but I'm wishing them out.
Yeah.
I know a lot of Canada. I know Canada wants to see a Canadian Stanley Cup winner, and I totally get that. But I'm old, so I remember the original six, and I can't cheer for Toronto or Montreal. If Calgary or Vancouver or Ottawa or certainly Edmonton or Winnipeg or the Quebec Nordiques have a chance to win it, I'll be okay. But Ken Dryden and Sam Pollock ruined my life in 1971, and I have a long memory. So,
well, you remember the last time the Leafs won the cup, so.
Yeah, well, I do actually. I remember, and then they traded Frank Mahovlich 6 months later, and my dad was so mad he stopped watching the Leafs on television. So there's that.
Hey, how old were you, Tide, when Bobby Baugh scored the Stanley Cup winning goal? I believe that was 64.
Oh, I do not remember that goal. I was just a toddler. I was probably. I probably wasn't. I was out of diapers, and I was probably wearing long pants. You know.
were you at in Turtleford at that time at Jackfish Lake or what?
No, I would have been in Maple Ridge in Wannock, BC, at that age.
Wow.
And then we moved out to the Maidstone area. And one day when I make Karius money, I'm going to buy a cabin at Turtle Lake, and I'll invite you out.
Well, what is it? Aquadale Beach by Jackfish.
Yep. Yeah, very nice. It's a beautiful area. One of the things that drives me nuts about people is they say, "Oh, Saskatchewan, there's no nice places there." I'm like, "Are you nuts? If we could drag one of the lakes from Saskatchewan and put it 30 miles from Edmonton, everybody would celebrate. I guarantee it."
The nicest lake in Alberta, wouldn't hold a candle to the top 20 lakes in Saskatchewan.
You say that and people won't believe you,
No.
but you're absolutely right. You are absolutely right. It is like, Loon Lake. Nobody's been there. It's gorgeous. It's just there are just places in Saskatchewan where the scenic beauty, if you love water, if you love lakes, if you love fishing, man, or hunting, if you go way up north, it's just the best. It truly is. For the Jeremiah Johnsons of the world, it really is fantastic.
Oh, absolutely. Tide, what's coming up on your show today?
We have Jason Greger. We're looking at a Jay's guest. Rachel's off for the summer unless there's a big story, which of course means she'll be on every week, but not this one. And then I'd like to drill down a little bit on the Oilers coaching situation, as I know you have today. And now I want to ask, is this 9:20 thing a regular thing? Are you punting me? Is this phasing out low tide?
No. I think what happened was we had Jordan Maximic on at 7:20 this morning. And I think that's what, like, he needed to do his stuff before, the meetings and all that. So that's why we had a little switcheroo today.
Okay. So my card will work when I come in today, Karen?
No, you're just fine. Yeah.
I've heard this before, Kevin.
Yeah, you lie to your friends, I'll lie to mine, but let's not BS each other.
There you go. I love it. Okay, have a good one.
Thanks, Tide. That's Alan Mitchell. You hear him daily here from 12 to 2. The Lowdown with Low Tide. That's the Puck Report brought to you by Fountain Tire. And again, we focus on one thing, and it is your vehicle. Check them out at fountaintire.com today. When we come back, we'll get to some of your texts, 833-401-1440, and another edition of Cam and Eggs, courtesy Cam Tate. It's all in the Kevin Carey Show with the Duke of Delburne, Josh Fenwick on Sports 1440 AM radio. We're streaming on YouTube, X, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitch. Looking for a solid 4x4 that checks all the boxes? The 2026 Jeep Compass is in stock now at St. Albert Dodge, and this is a great value, starting from just $36,900. It's a Jeep, so you've got 4x4 capability, plus features like an 8.4-inch touchscreen, Apple CarPlay, active lane management, a Park View rear backup camera, and more. Over 30 in stock right now in just about every color you'd want. Head up the trail and see how easy it is to do business at St. Albert Dodge.
Home ice advantage is real at the rink and on your windows. Novo Blinds is Edmonton's own custom manufacturer, trusted by customers around the city. Factory direct pricing with the fastest turnaround around. Book a free in-home consultation at novoblinds.ca.
Hi, Mike here from Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. No one's ever accused car shopping to be fun. I mean, think about it. Awkward standoffs to get a price. Let me go talk to my manager. Dealers asking for your credit card, then melting your phone if you say no. See, not fun. At Northgate, I promise you a different experience. We make it fun. and you will like us. I promise. 0% financing, a great selection of new and pre-owned units. So for some fun, stop in today. 13215 97th Street or visit us online at northgategm.com.
You're in Northgate country.
There's still time to book your tournament at the Ranch Golf and Country Club.
As one of Alberta's top tourney courses, the Ranch makes hosting fun and easy for any group or business. No matter how unique or unusual, they'll accommodate your vision for an event no one will soon forget.
Start planning your tournament today at their beautifully landscaped course on the outskirts of West Edmonton. On-site event coordinators are here to help, but hurry, availability is limited and booking fast.
Visit theranchgolf.com.
Your all-access pass to the world of sports is Edmonton's only sports radio station.
From pre- and post-game hockey shows to in-depth analysis from your favorite commentators, the action never stops on Sports 1440.
Whether you're refinancing or buying your first home, mortgages are easier with help from a neighbor. At Vision Credit Union, you get face-to-face guidance from local lenders who know the market because, well, they live here too. They'll look at your whole financial picture with practical advice for payments, renewals, refinancing, and what makes sense long-term. Get a more neighborly mortgage. Contact your branch today or visit visioncu.ca.
Bashaw Concrete Products. From concrete and septic tanks to blocks, precast water pads, Jersey barriers and aggregates. Farmers, contractors, homeowners. Plan your next project at BashawConcrete.com. Family owned, over 60 years pouring. Bashaw Concrete Products. Once again, start here. BashawConcrete.com.
Monday morning, you should.
You're listening to Sports 1440 and watch us on YouTube, Facebook, and X.
Sports 24/7. We are Sports 1440.
All right, welcome back to the big program, 944 in Edmonton. Kevin Karius, Duke of Delburne, Josh Fenwick with you here on Sports 1440 AM radio. We're streaming on YouTube, X, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitch. In our palatial studios here at West Edmonton Mall, we were just watching a little of the French Open. The clay courts of Roland Garros, Duke. Have you ever played tennis on a clay court?
You could have finished that sentence a few words earlier, and the answer would have still been yes. I've never played any real game of tennis.
You're kidding.
No.
I'll be honest, Duke. We went to the BNP Paribas Open in Palm Springs.
Yes.
It's fabulous. It's one of the most exciting sports to watch in person. On TV, it's blah. When if you're at right on at the net and watching the speed and the pace of the serves and the rallies, you don't see that and I think every sport's like that if you watch in person, but tennis, to me, I was blown away at it.
I'm a big fan of women's tennis.
How come not the men?
Oh, I like the men's game too, but
just a little more rallies in the women.
There's just something about the women's game that I can really appreciate.
Mm-hmm. Interesting stat. We're going to have Nick Ashburn on from Blue Jays Happy Hour talk about Vlad Guerrero and the Jays, and he took that pitch yesterday off his right elbow, I guess it would be. I think he'll be okay today. But this is from Jeff Passan, who's just he's a plugged-in guy in the baseball world. I found this quite intriguing about payrolls in Major League Baseball and how teams are some teams are playing with lower payrolls, obviously, but playing well. And some teams with the higher payrolls aren't playing well. Here it is. The 10 best teams in Major League Baseball this season are spending a combined $1.89 billion on players. The 10 worst teams in Major League Baseball this season are spending a combined $1.90 billion. So it's the same. It just shows you that when you are putting together a team and throwing out outrageous contracts, outrageous money, it doesn't always get you success. Yeah, the Dodgers are always going to be there. 3 of the 10 best teams, Tampa Bay Rays, St. Louis Cardinals, and Cleveland Guardians, are carrying sub $100 million payrolls, while just one of the bottom 10, the Miami Marlins, are. There are 5 teams at $200 million plus in the top 10, but only 3 in the bottom 10. That's crazy. So some big, big numbers. Time now for another edition of Cam and Eggs with the great Cam Tate.
Cam and Eggs. Order number 31. I do not know how it happens. I do not know why we take old friends for granted. They just slip away. We forget they are there until they tap us on the shoulder. We were on a ride. 2 springs of Edmonton Oilers hockey. Stanley Cup playoff hockey. It consumed us. It was Oilers, Oilers, Oilers. That is okay. We loved the thrill. We loved the roller coaster. Then May ends. No playoff hockey. Empty nights. 0 ice time. We forgot about our other professional sports team. The Edmonton Elks had a few challenging years, tough seasons, quiet stadiums, heartbreaks. Things fell apart. Then they came back together. Finding them again feels rare, like locating a matching pair of socks in the dark, or waiting for Kevin to finally reach for his wallet when the lunch bill arrives. It takes patience, a lot of patience. But something happened. Saturday night against the BC Lions, the Elks played. The Elks fought. The Elks won. It was startling, like stepping out into bright sunshine after a month of freezing rain, or seeing Kevin arrive at the studio before the microphone actually goes live. You almost do not believe your own eyes. You rub them. You look again. The score remains real. They found their footing. They found their rhythm. They found a victory. It was a beautiful surprise, as unexpected as a quiet toddler in a crowded toy store. As shocking as Kevin admitting he was entirely wrong about his fantasy draft picks. It just does not happen every day. You have to stop and appreciate the moment. The sports reporter in me says I should read the statistics, give you the game numbers, break down the passing yards. But the simple headline says it all. The Edmonton Elks won their first game on Saturday. Preseason, sure, but they won. As Edmonton sports fans, we needed this. Let us embrace it. Let us celebrate it. Let us get behind this team. I hope we all remember to support the ones who keep showing up. If an Elks win does not motivate you on a Monday, I do not know what will. We keep moving forward. We celebrate today. Back this afternoon on the Gregor R. Merry Go-Round. Cam and Eggs, 1440.
Thanks, Tater. Man, we've been doing this for like a month already. Hey, Duke, it's going pretty fast. Thanks, Cam Tate, for another edition of Cam and Eggs. And, 34-16, the Elks win over BC on Saturday. And Duke had it as an in or out topic last week about, how important it is. Yes, the process and about playing, and Ed Hervey mentioned it, with rhythm and playing hard and playing, quick, fast football. But I think it's just important to get, a W here. And now if you can get another one here going in on Friday night, going into the regular season for that season opener in Ottawa in week 1, I think it just gives the players so much confidence. I mean, the offense put up 450 yards on Saturday. And that's with guys, again, you have a lot of guys going in and out of the lineup. That's just preseason football in the CFL. But defensively, and again, when we had Coach Maximic on, he talked a little bit about the defense, and they gave up less than 300 yards of offense to the BC Lions. Yes, the BC didn't have a lot of their guys going, but you have to be pretty happy with what you saw both offensively and defensively. You ran the ball quite well, over 100 yards rushing on the ground. You had 340 yards plus passing. You picked up 14 first downs, so you've got to be pretty happy with that. 14 on the ground and 9 more through the air. So you didn't give up any sacks. You got 1 sack defensively, and that's one thing that that we've talked about to an extent here. 2 things: the offensive line, all the competition battles in camp. You can talk about Beard and Cordy and all these guys, and then the new signings too. But the depth on the offensive line isn't something that we haven't seen from this football club in a long time. Last year, and Eddie Steele would attest to this, they didn't get enough pressure on opposition quarterbacks. Now, I think that's one of the kind of the staples on defense. They got to get after. They got to get after opposition quarterbacks, and I think we saw that a little bit in week 1. And that's got to be week 1 of the preseason. And that's something that has to be first and foremost about this defense. And to be honest, like you think about J.C. Sherritt, now 2nd year, you think about how, as a defensive coordinator, this is a guy that played with so much passion and aggressiveness when he played, and he was still finding his way as a defensive coordinator last year. Now he's got a season under his belt. I think you're going to see a little more comfortability, familiarity, and I think you're going to see a little bit about how he wants to implement that defense and have that stamp on what his defense does. And we'll see that, I think, moving forward. Text 833-401-1440. We were talking about with Alan Mitchell, and actually Cam Tate, he's from Jackfish Lake too. Jana, longtime happy listener. So Aquadale, Jackfish is at Goshen, only 20 minutes north of Battleford. And so is Aquadale. You got that right. Jay in Victoria said he had a place at Aquadale, little golf course, good cab or good pub. He had a little place there. They sold it as a young kid. What a mistake. Yeah. And just beautiful, beautiful country. Lance on the south side says, hey, if the Avs get swept, is Jared Bednar on the hot seat? Well, you would have to think so. I mean, you would have to think so. Having said that, there is a little bit of continuity in the organization that I'm not sure they make a panic move and can them. Bednar would be out of work for like 5 minutes. If he were ever to get fired in Colorado, the Oilers would be banging at the door. I mean, if Bruce Cassidy's the number 1 pick and the number 1 consensus choice to be the next head coach, if that ever happens, we'll see. But if Bednar were available, I think that obviously the Edmonton Oilers, and hey, not just the Oilers, I mean the Kings, the Canucks, the Leafs, probably the Leafs would be more so on Bednar than those other 2 teams. I think the Canucks, it's a given that they're going to go with Manny Malhotra. That's just, I mean, it just makes too much sense for a guy that's been in the organization as long as Ryan Johnson, a dozen years plus, and for him to have that working relationship with Manny Malhotra in Abbotsford would be stunning to see them not take Malhotra. And if that were ever to happen and he doesn't be the next head coach of the Canucks, he'd be at the top of the list of several other teams as well. Coming up at the top of the hour, we got Nick Ashburn from Blue Jays Happy Hour. Also, Kristen Shilton from ESPN will tee up tonight's game number 3 between the Montreal Canadiens and the Carolina Hurricanes. Before all that, time now for a Sports 1440 update brought to you by AWS Welding Supplies in Nisku. Product sales, servicing, calibrating, free same-day delivery of in-stock items to Leduc, to Nisku, and South Edmonton. Your one-stop shop for all things welding. That's awswelding.ca. Here is the Duke.
The Sports 1440 update.
NHL's Eastern Conference Final back at it tonight from Montreal with the Habs and Hurricanes tied at 1 game apiece. Puck drop coming just after 6 o'clock from the Bell Center. Memorial Cup Continuing from Kelowna with the WHL champion Silvertips taking on OHL champion Kitchener Rangers tonight. 7 o'clock Mountain is when this one gets underway. Both teams 1-0 thus far in the tournament. From the IIHF World Hockey Championships in Switzerland, the United States leads Hungary this morning 5-1. Norway up on the Czechs 2-1. And still to come today, Germany will play Great Britain and Italy up against Slovenia. In the association, chance to punch their ticket back to the NBA Finals for the first time since 1999. The New York Knicks in Cleveland against the Cavaliers with a 3-0 series lead tip-off just after 6 o'clock from Ohio. And in the majors, full slate of games today, including the Blue Jays opening a set at home against the Miami Marlins. First pitch coming just after 5 o'clock. Trey Savage on the hill for Toronto. You can catch that game right here on Sports 1440, joined in progress at the conclusion of the Jason Gregor Show. Elsewhere, Cubbies in Pittsburgh, Orioles hosting the Rays, Yankees up against the Royals in Kansas City, and the Seattle Mariners take on the Athletics from San Francisco. From the French Open at Roland Garros, Canadian Leila Annie Fernandez start time continue getting pushed back, now scheduled for after the top of the hour for her first round matchup. Coming up in hour 4 of the Kevin Karius Show, we'll be joined by Nick Ashburn from Blue Jays Happy Hour, as well as Kristen Shilton from the NHL on ESPN. I'm Brandon Douglas at your Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440, Stingray radio station. CKJR broadcasts from West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin.
Download the free Stingray music app and listen wherever you go.
Are you looking for safe and reliable transportation solutions for your wedding, corporate retreat, or golf trip? Look no further than Silent Rides, Alberta's premier charter bus company. Whether your group is big or small, Silent Rides has you covered. We offer 3 different sizes of units to cater to your needs, and we provide first-class service at affordable rates. Get your quote today. For more information and to request a quote, contact sales at 877-748-0991 or visit silentrides.ca.
Hi, Mike here from Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. No one's ever accused car shopping to be fun. I mean, think about it. Awkward standoffs to get a price. Let me go talk to my manager. Dealers asking for your credit card, then melting your phone if you say no. See, not fun. At Northgate, I promise you a different experience. We make it fun. And you will like us, I promise. 0% financing, a great selection of new and pre-owned units. So for some fun, stop in today. 13215 97th Street or visit us online at northgategm.com.
You're in Northgate country.
Come for Canada's largest trade shows, the biggest names in entertainment, exhilarating sporting events, and more. And stay for the experience at the Edmonton Expo Centre. Looking for the perfect place to host your next big event? From trade shows to galas, meetings, and concerts, the Edmonton Expo Centre has the space, event expertise, and service to make your next event unforgettable. With over 522,000 square feet of flexible event space, in-house catering, and operational expertise, they bring your biggest vision to life. Learn more at edmontonexpocentre.com today.
A huge thank you for making Sports 1440 the most listened to sports radio station in Edmonton. From Gregor to Karius to Low Tide, we've got in-depth analysis on all your favorite sports. We are Sports 1440.
Your next great family adventure is just a raffle ticket away. Enter the Alberta Foster and Kinship Association's Great Family Adventure Raffle for your chance to win incredible prizes, including the first prize, a Sea-Doo pontoon cruise boat worth over $70,000. Every ticket sold helps provide vital resources to the everyday heroes raising children through some of life's hardest circumstances. Buy your tickets before the live draw on June 5th. Get yours at rafflebox.ca/raffle/the Great Family Adventure Raffle. License number 766115. Open to Alberta residents 18 plus only.
Debt can take over your life. The stress, the constant worry, it can feel like you're drowning. When people come to see me, they're often anxious and feeling hopeless. But when I explain how I can help them get out of debt, those feelings melt away. I'm Parveen Middleton, licensed insolvency trustee at BDO here in Edmonton. I will create a personalized debt relief plan so you can move forward with confidence. Call 1-833-BDO-TALK or visit bdodebt.ca to discover your debt-free future.
Have your sports curiosity cured with the Kevin Karius Show. This is Sports 1440.
All right, welcome back to the big program. 10:01 in Edmonton. Time to talk a little Blue Jays baseball as they open up a series tonight against the Miami Marlins. As we welcome in Nick Ashburn from Blue Jays Happy Hour. Good morning, Nick. You're with Kevin Karius. Thanks for jumping on Sports 1440 this morning. Really appreciate it.
My pleasure. Good to be with you.
Well, let's talk a little injury news first of all. Vladimir Guerrero took that pitch off the right elbow. Do you think he's going to be okay to go tonight?
I think tonight is a bit up in the air in terms of longer term. It doesn't seem like a big deal. It sort of, hit a nerve in a literal sense, and it's a bit of a scary sensation for him. And I think he kind of lost some feeling in the arm and in the elbow, and that's why he exited the game so quickly. You don't normally see a guy, kind of brush past the manager and trainer, to be honest, and just go straight into the clubhouse. But that, I think, was a pretty intense sensation in the moment, luckily for the Jays and for him. It's not a fracture. It's not a long-term injury of any kind. I wouldn't be shocked if he's out of the lineup today, but, if it's not today, it'll be the next day or the one after that. There's no kind of overriding concern about Guerrero's health.
Yeah. What is it about the season, though, as a whole for Vladdy that he just hasn't been able to get on track just yet, Nick?
Yeah, you always figure that there'll be a point where it clicks in. Like he remains one of the most talented hitters in the game for a variety of reasons. He's great at making contact. He knows how to work the strike zone. He has that raw power, but tapping into the power has been really difficult for him this year. The contact quality just hasn't been the same. And we have seen stretches of this before where the ball's on the ground a little bit too much, or he's hitting it hard, but he's hitting it into gloves and he's just not getting elevation on the ball. The difference this year is it's just stretching out. Normally those kind of times in the season, they last, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, even a month where the power's not really there. We're nearly 2 months now. So this is a little bit more concerning than some of the other ones that you kind of just characterize as slumps.
Do you see him off balance, in the batter's box? Like maybe, is he lunging a bit too much with that front foot? What do you see in there, Nick?
It's funny because it's been different at different times of the season. Like it doesn't feel like this is one solid slump where everything has looked the same from the beginning to the end. And, it wouldn't be. Again, we're talking nearly 2 months of baseball here. So there have been moments where he's felt a little bit passive. There have been moments where, as you say, he's kind of lunging at the ball and he's getting out and maybe making contact a little bit too far in front of the plate. And that results a lot of times in kind of ground balls to third base and shortstop that you don't necessarily want to see from him. So I don't think there's been this one factor that you can just explain it all there, because he's always making adjustments, opponents are making adjustments. It's just whatever those adjustments are, they haven't resulted in consistent success. There's been very few, 1.5, even 2 week stretches where it looks like he's getting behind the ball and driving it the way, the Blue Jays know that he can.
Yeah. Nick Ashburn with us on the Kevin Karius Show from Blue Jays Happy Hour. Dylan Cease also left yesterday's game, with a sore hamstring. Is that more precautionary than something more serious here, Nick?
That's the read at this moment. I think Cease is a guy he's been so durable in his career at this point, someone who knows himself fairly well and kind of lifted himself a little bit from the game. When it's a pitcher and it's lower body, that's what you want to hear. When the Blue Jays were announcing that injury, they made a specific point to say it was mild hamstring discomfort. I always think about what they could have said as an alternative. It was very easy to just say a hamstring issue or something like that. They went out of their way to say that it was mild, so that's very encouraging for him. I think he wants to make the next start. The only caution with that is with some of these soft tissue injuries, sometimes you can feel one way when it happens in the immediate aftermath. Then you wake up the next day and things can feel a little bit different. So we need to wait to hear on exactly what's going to happen for him. But in terms of injuries to Cease, who's arguably been their best player this season, this was a pretty good outcome for the Blue Jays.
Trey Savage is going to get the ball tonight to kick off this series with Miami. And hey, when your WHIP and your ERA are the same numbers, you're doing something right. How impressive has Savage been in his start so far this year for you?
It's been really good because he had this weird spring where they're trying to build him up, and then he had this minor shoulder issue, and then he hit the IL. And I assumed that when he came back to the big leagues, because he didn't get that proper spring and build up, it would be a really slow ramp up. He might not quite look like himself. And in some of his early starts, he didn't. He wasn't quite your Savage, especially the splitter wasn't there. The command wasn't what you were hoping. He had to lean on the fastball a lot because that was the pitch that was working. But the results were still good. You know, he was able to kind of fight through it and navigate lineups, you know, kind of veteran stuff for a guy who's, you know, just 22 years old. It was impressive in a different way. But it's starting to come around now where he just, you know, he looks like the guy we saw last season. That start against the Yankees, 6 innings, 8 strikeouts, 2 hits. Like that was the dominant Savage we saw at times in the playoffs and at the end of 2025. And I think the Blue Jays have to be pleased with how quickly he snapped back to being someone they feel good about as, you know, a real weapon in this rotation.
Nick Ashbourne with us on Sports 1440. Spencer Miles has been really good coming out of the bullpen. What have you noticed about his contributions to this ball club so far?
Miles is such an interesting case because they took him in the Rule 5 draft as a player who had virtually no experience in the minor leagues. Like he had just kind of had one injury after another since being drafted in 2022. But he pitched in the Arizona Fall League at the very end of 2025. They really liked what they saw from him there, facing some pretty notable prospects who play in that league. And normally when you get a guy like this, you assume he's going to be super raw. It's like, oh, this guy's going to throw 97 and have 2 pitches, and he'll be a little bit wild, and we'll sort of hope for the best. And Miles has looked surprisingly advanced. You know, he's got 4 pitches he uses pretty consistently. He uses them in different counts. He doesn't necessarily have one strikeout pitch. Like when you watch him pitch, and he kind of looks like a guy who's been around for a while. He looks like some 30-year-old guy in the kind of mid-rotation, and that's exactly the opposite of what you'd think from him, given his lack of experience. And with all the calamities of pitching injuries the Blue Jays have faced this year, it's really, you wouldn't have thought you'd have to lean on Miles in this kind of semi-starter role that he has now, but he's been a godsend for them, and you cannot complain what you've gotten from this guy.
Yeah, you know, another guy too is Patrick Corbin. I think people have to be really impressed with how he's thrown the ball, you know, just being a pickup. He almost looks like he was pitching like, you know, when he was back in Arizona at the tail end of his career in Arizona and the start of his career in Washington. Is it just something about a veteran guy that is finding his way back to being a good contributor on the mound here?
This one is really surprising to me because he's 36 years old. He's coming up on 37, and most of the tail end of his career at the Nationals, he signed a big contract there. We associate him with that 2019 World Series team, and he was a great part of that team. But after that, the wheels kind of fell off for him. And in most cases with a pitcher, as they get deeper into the career, the reason the wheels fall off is just they've encountered one injury or another. And Corbin didn't. He was consistently durable. He never really got injured, but he just kind of slipped and slipped and slipped over the seasons and had some pretty rough years with the Nationals, who just kind of held on to him because they didn't have other alternatives. He went to Texas last season, bounced back a little bit, but with the Blue Jays, they got him because he was ready to give them MLB starts. And I don't think the expectations are very high, but durability was valued for a team that has dealt with so many injuries, and he's exceeded expectations across the board. There's nothing fancy about what he does. He's got a lot of pitches. He mixes them. He doesn't throw hard. He doesn't strike guys out, but he throws strikes and he kind of lets his defense go to work. And that's been really effective for the Blue Jays. And you would not have thought this season coming in, when they had quite a few starting options, that they'd have to pick up a guy like Corbin off the scrap heap, but he's been fantastic.
Yeah, he's been really, really good. Nick Ashbourne with us on Sports 1440. On the injury front, how close do you think we are to seeing Alejandro Kirk return to the Blue Jays lineup?
It should be fairly soon. All of the reports for him have been pretty positive. There haven't been any setbacks, really. When he first went out, the timetable was approximately 6 weeks. We're getting close to that. So he still probably needs to get some games at a certain point. Like, he's doing a lot of the activities in terms of catching and throwing and hitting, but needs to get into some rehab games. I'd be surprised to see him this week, but maybe he'll be getting into rehab games at some point, kind of at the end of the week or weekend, and we could see him possibly later next week. As good as Brandon Valenzuela has been, the same can't really be said for Tyler Heineman, but they really need him. He's not the flashiest player in a lot of ways, but he's so valuable and, one of their very best players. And his absence is one of the reasons that this season has been a bit of a struggle in the early going.
How about Yohendrick Penango? I mean, this guy's he just strings together good at bats. And what have you thought about his play? And I mean, I don't know how much, how much runway he's got here with some injuries with guys coming back, but he's been really, really good here.
Yeah, they have to be happy with what he's done so far. He's kind of got two really big skills that he combines and that make him interesting as a prospect. And the first one is that he's difficult to strike out. He's making contact with the ball at a high level. And the second one is that he's got great bat speed. Mm-hmm. And so far that bat speed has more resulted in him kind of getting to pitches, and he's done a lot of damage kind of middle of the field and left center field. A lot of singles with him, not as much on an extra base basis, but because he has that raw tool, I think the belief is that someday he's going to be able to get that power. And that's sort of what happened with Addison Barger. He was flagged as someone who had amazing bat speed, and it took him a while to turn that into MLB power. The Jays certainly hope the same thing will happen with Penango at a certain point. Yeah, as you mentioned, there might be a bit of a roster crunch coming up, and he's someone with options that they can send down easily, and that could sort of seal his fate. But it's important to make a good first impression, and he's certainly done that with the Jays management so far.
Yeah, I think Nathan Lucas is going to come off the IL today. Does that mean that, they have to make a decision on, if they send him down?
It's a possibility, but because Lenin Sosa has struggled so much for the club and just not really provided much from the right side, he would seem to be the easiest option. But yeah, longer term, when you're talking about the return of Barger and Kirk, Barger specifically, that's when you start having to make a decision on Penango.
What are they saying about Barger? How long is he going to be out for?
So that's an interesting one because it has felt like he's been kind of knocking on the door for a while, but we've got multiple ankle issues going at the same time. That can be complicated. I still don't think that that's a long-term injury in terms of when he comes back. I would expect to see him relatively soon. The elbow inflammation too that he's dealt with, that's about whether he can throw the ball extremely well, and you could bring him back before the elbow is 100%, kind of like we saw with Dalton Varsho, where at times he's played even though his arm hasn't been, where you'd want it to be. That's unfortunate for Barger, especially because he's got an elite arm. So having him deal without having that tool at the highest level is a little bit tough, but he should be coming around fairly soon.
Nick Ashburn with us on Sports 1440. I'm not sure if the Jays have an MVP at this point of the season, but if they were to have one, how high on the list would Louis Varland be for you?
He would be up there. I mean, if I'm handing out hardware, I would probably give it to Dylan Cease. It's tough for a reliever to, overcome a starter in terms of just the difference in innings. But, Varland has been virtually unhittable. He's given up 2 runs all year. And he's gotten the saves for the team, but he's also come in these really dangerous situations with men on base in the middle of the lineup. It's just clearly he's the number one reliever in the bullpen, and John Schneider is using him when the team needs him most. I think that's a great setup, often a better setup than just having that traditional closer, and then you're saving a guy for your up 3 in the 9th inning, which is not actually that dangerous a situation. He's been awesome. He's striking out way more hitters than he did last season. He hasn't given up a single home run yet. The walks are under control. The velocity's up a little bit. Mason Miller's probably the most unhittable man in baseball, but Louis Varland has been kind of right there in a tier underneath him. And, you could not ask for more than what he's given them.
Pretty cool to see Adam Macko on the big club. He's a local product from around these parts. Nick went to Vauxhall Academy, down in southern Alberta. But to see a Canadian and a lefty come out of the bullpen, it's pretty cool to see.
Yeah, he was been in the organization for a while. He was part of the Teoscar Hernandez trade with the Mariners back in the day, and it's been a bit of a slower climb for him at times. They were trying to think of him as a starter, and then ultimately they converted him to a reliever, and things have happened relatively quickly. It's a good first impression. He's come in some relatively big spots against some tough lefty batters, at Yankee Stadium, making his debut and, kind of medium high leverage. That's maybe not the way you would draw it up for a rookie pitcher, but he's handled that well. He's got, pretty respectable velocity. He's got the nasty slider. And because he's a former starter, he's got a couple other pitches that he can go to kind of surprise hitters and steal strikes. It's a pretty solid package right now. And with other guys struggling in the bullpen, you might have thought this was going to be a short stint for Mako just when you get the return of Nance and Mantiply. And I'm not sure that's a given anymore with Yariel Rodriguez struggling and Chase Lee not looking particularly impressive. There's a chance Mako sticks around longer than expected.
Yeah. Nick, great stuff. Really appreciate it. Enjoy this set with Miami, and maybe the Jays are starting to turn the corner after a pretty decent weekend performance against the Buccos. Thanks for coming on, Nick. Really appreciate it.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me on.
That's Nick Ashbourne, Blue Jays happy hour. That's the Jays and the Miami Marlins tonight. The first of 3 straight against the Marlins. It'll be Trey Yasavich up against Jansen Junk. Spencer Miles will be the bulk guy tomorrow against Sandy Alcantara. And then Kevin Gausman will face Yuri Perez to close out this series. The Jays then move on to Baltimore for 4 before getting next Monday off. And today it's Memorial Day in the United States, so that we've got some early games coming up here in the next hour or so to kick things off on a holiday Monday in the U.S. When we come back, Kristen Shilton from ESPN covers the NHL. We'll check in with Kristen when we come back on the Kevin Karius Show with the Duke of Delburne and Josh Fenwick on Sports 1440 AM radio. We're streaming on YouTube, X, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitch.
What's that? Is that actually spring? Like no snow squalls or bad weather tomorrow? It's actually spring? Well, GS Construction welcomes the warmer weather because that means we can really get to work. Now, it doesn't matter if there was bad weather. This is our time to shine. But we can't do it without good people to do that work. That's why GS Construction is hiring pipe layers, topmen, and heavy equipment operators. If you want to join a team who loves their work, visit gsconstruction.ca today.
This summer, it's coming. An unstoppable force that will turn your home into the Sweatbox.
Don't live in a summer blockbuster. Pro Solutions is your one-call-solves-it-all expert for AC repairs, tune-ups, and new installations. With fast appointments and flexible financing, we'll make sure your home story has a comfortable ending. AC season is coming soon, so book today.
Lock in pre-season pricing today.
Visit ProSolutionsInc.ca to schedule your service today.
From the first pitch to the final out, catch Toronto Blue Jays baseball games live right here. Don't miss a moment of Blue Jays baseball this season. Sports 1440 is proud to be the home of Blue Jays baseball.
Say hello to your new favorite drinks. Introducing new McCafe Refreshers. Icy cool, undeniably refreshing, and available in 3 flavors. Strawberry watermelon, mango pineapple, and blackberry passion fruit. Only at McDonald's.
Alberta is growing, but our highways are crumbling. Are you tired of the rough ride? In the last 15 years, our population has grown with hundreds of thousands more cars and trucks on our highways. Today, more than 15% of Alberta's highways are in poor condition. Cutting highway maintenance doesn't save money. It makes repairs more expensive. Don't let the government ignore the problem. Your MLA works for you. Tell them to fix our roads. Visit fixourroads.com for more information.
A message from the Alberta Road Builders and Heavy Construction Association.
Whether you're refinancing or buying your first home, mortgages are easier with help from a neighbor. At Vision Credit Union, you get face-to-face guidance from local lenders who know the market because, well, they live here too. They'll look at your whole financial picture with practical advice for payments, renewals, refinancing, and what makes sense long-term. Get a more neighborly mortgage. Contact your branch today or visit visioncu.ca.
Stories, guests, and insights. This is Sports 1440 and the Kevin Karius Show.
All right, welcome back to the big program, 1021 in Edmonton, and time now for the game of the day, brought to you by St. Albert Dodge, where the 2026 Ram 2500 Black Express packages have arrived. They've got the 20-inch black aluminum wheels, the black Mopar side steps, body color bumpers and grille, and the sport performance hood. See them at stalbertdodge.com as we welcome back Kristen Shilton from the NHL on ESPN. Good morning, Kristen. You're with Kevin Karius. Thanks for jumping on Sports 1440 this morning. Really appreciate it.
Of course. Thank you as always for having me.
So, Carolina, Montreal, game number 3 tonight. After the split that the Habs got in Carolina, what are your expectations on how we see things shake down tonight, Kristen?
Well, I think we're going to learn a lot about these two teams and based on how this game goes. I think there was a certain, I don't want to say an excuse, but there was maybe an understanding game 1 was going to be rough for Carolina because they had 12 days off and the rest was there in the first period. And it just was something that, in the regular season, it's hard to come back from being down 4-1 when you're giving up those kind of breakaway chances that they were. But they really settled in game 2, in the second period in that game. And I thought they were much better in game 2, and just the way that they played from start to finish. Obviously, Jacob Delburne at the other end is what saved Montreal and put them in position to still potentially win that game. But what I think tonight is going to show us is now that they've felt each other out a little bit, you've had your chance to make adjustments, but now everybody's in, everybody's kind of going. And I don't think this is going to be quite as lopsided. And I say lopsided in terms of game 2 with like the shot totals being what they were. So I'm expecting a very loud Bell Center, but I'm also expecting these teams to really show more of what they did, perhaps in the second rounds, especially late in those rounds where I think it was kind of the best of both teams. I'm expecting to see the best of both tonight.
Yeah, what do you think about Jakob Delburne here, Kristen? I mean, every time that the Habs lose a game, he seems to rebound. And are you expecting that tonight?
Absolutely. I think that he, for such a young goaltender, has such poise, and it's not an easy thing to carry. When you are in your first full season, and this is a lot of pressure, but it doesn't seem to be getting to him. And I really do think that that's a unique quality for someone his age and with the experience that he has. There are so many times watching him especially in the series against Buffalo, but even in the series against Tampa, he never seems intimidated by the moment. And that's what sticks out to me is that you've got some of the best skaters in the world. You've got Nikita Kucherov, you've got Tage Thompson, you've got these guys coming at you, barreling in, and he just doesn't blink. And even when, you look at Karius' stick getting caught in his equipment in the last game, and, Jordan Martin's right in front of him trying to throw him off, and he's just, does what he's got to do. And there's just such a calmness to him that I think really radiates through this group. And it's what's impressed me most about him is, yes, you drop a decision and it can be the end of the world for some goalies, but he just picks himself up and says, hey, bring the heat. He loved being heckled in game 7 by the Buffalo crowd, thought that was great. And he was just embracing it. And you really like to see that from someone in his position.
Kristen Shilton, the NHL on ESPN, our guest on the Kevin Karius Show here on Sports 1440. What have you thought about the Canadians' big line of Caulfield, Suzuki, and Slafkovsky? Is it more consistency that this line needs moving forward?
I think consistency would benefit every line for Montreal. I think what that line does is almost like what we're talking about, Delburne not putting too much pressure on himself. I feel like they are maybe taking on too much of that, if that makes sense. Like there seems to be, more of a disconnect than you might be expecting. Just, I think they're trying so hard to make the difference. They're trying so hard to be the guys, and they don't really have to. Like, you look at the success that they had in game 1, and it was, obviously some of it rust for Carolina, but it just felt like they were just loose. They were just kind of doing their thing. And that's when they're at their best, where I felt like in game 2, when Carolina was able to push back a little bit more, they lose that sort of momentum, and that when they're at their best, where it just feels like they're connecting and they're talking on the ice, and you can see they're anticipating each other better. And that just, I felt, got lost a little bit for them in the last game. So it's consistency, yes, but it's also just not overthinking it. This is still hockey, whether it's game 1 or game 7, it's still the same game. If you are more worried about what you're doing than how they're going to try and stop you from doing what you do best, it's always going to work in your favor. And that's what I feel like that line just needs to do more often. It doesn't have to be putting up numbers that makes you successful. It can also be neutralizing the opponent. It can also be, just making them uncomfortable and opening up chances for the rest of the team to, score the goals. So that's what I'd like to see more of from them, is just sticking to their individual identity as a trio, because that's when they're really at their best.
Speaking of lines, Kristen, the second line for Carolina with Stankoven, Blake, and Taylor Hall, the former Edmonton Oiler, so good in the first 2 series that the Carolina Hurricanes swept. Are they just sort of kind of waiting to get this line going a bit more in this series with Montreal?
I think so. It's really hard, even, in the regular season, to be a good line night after night after night. You're eventually going to hit some sort of point where the other team is studying you and they know what to expect. And so you have to adjust what you're doing to how that they are defending you. And that doesn't mean getting away from your identity. It doesn't mean that you want to start playing differently necessarily, but the adjustment needs to be there. And I don't know if they've found that right formula yet on how they can maximize the opportunities that they're getting against the Canadiens the way that they were, in those previous rounds against Philly and against Ottawa. And this is just a different team. Like Montreal, I think the way that they defend and their depth on defense can be difficult. And you've seen it early in other series as well, that it takes a little time to figure them out. And I have no doubt that with how good that Hall line has been in the playoffs, that they can find that again. But it would be unrealistic to expect that they're going to be able to dominate every series one after another. We don't see that from any team. So it's really, I think, some personal adjustments that they're still trying to make. And also, I give credit to the Habs. I think they've done really well in taking away what that group does, when they're at their best. And when you can do that, it does start to, plant the seed of doubt. And that's what it's on those players to just sort of put that out of their heads and remember that what they were doing before can still work if they can just sort of apply it to the defensive pressure that Montreal is going to be continuing to put on them.
Kristen Shilton, the NHL on ESPN, our guest here on Sports 1440. In the Western Conference, holy smokes, I'm pretty sure nobody had Vegas to have a 3-0 lead on their bingo card, to be up 3 Cobb on the Vegas Golden Knights lead over Colorado right here. How are the Vegas Golden Knights doing it here, Kristen, in your view, in your estimation?
Well, I was just actually talking to a colleague here, and I was like, who's got the voodoo doll of Scott Wedgwood? Because it always starts with goaltending. And I know that's a cliche to say, but it really does start from the crease out. And he was so good in the regular season. But then now you're sort of seeing, was it Wedgwood or was it the Avs, And when Colorado you're missing Cale Makar. Now you've got Nathan McKinnon banged up. You're not playing the same sort of defense that you were in the regular season. You can't hold a lead to save your life. And it's like Wedgwood is just not showing up in those moments where they really needed him to. But that's where adversity, I know that teams harp on, or fans get nervous in the regular season about, what about this or that? Or, this could be a real problem in the playoffs. If you don't go through the adversity and the hard times, it's hard to tap into that desperation and that urgency when you get to this point of the season. And I look at Vegas, and they had their ups and downs, really. They weren't, some consistently great team they had to go through it and they had to learn. And now you see what Vegas does so well is that, I think Mitch Marner kind of said it best, where he's like, we don't turn on each other. It almost like brings us together when when we're in a game and we're down by 2, we're down by 3, it seems like all hope is lost. Something about that bonds this group. And I remember talking to Marner before the season even started when he first got to Vegas and just said, it's like a brotherhood already. It's like and I know that's a cliche and I know that, it's easy to say, we all love each other in here, but it's when it comes out the way that it does on the ice, as I think you're seeing it for Vegas, that's kind of the opposite of what you're seeing for Colorado. This is a group that it seems like there's not that same, not to say that they don't like each other or they're not, it's just that it's not bringing out, the adversity is not giving Carolina that sense of us against the world, whereas I feel like the Golden Knights have that. And that's the intangible of it, is that, yes, their defensive play, Colorado, has not been what it needs to be. Their offense doesn't seem to come alive when it needs to. Their goaltending hasn't been what it was. There's all sorts of things you can point out on the ice, but I also think at this time of year, despite what players like to say about, we can find another level to our game, I don't think you can. I think you are what you are at this point, and if you can't execute what you are, unfortunately, it comes down to that, but it's also the intangibles, and that's what's going to separate you, and I think that's what's separating Vegas.
How big of a factor, Kristen, do you think was Mark Stone returning to the lineup, having the captain back in Vegas's lineup?
But that's a great example, again, of just the heartbeat of a team coming back. And it wouldn't have mattered, I think, if Mark Stone had played 2 shifts in that game and he had just been on the bench. There's just something about players like him that their presence is a present, so to speak. It's like you just want them there. I think about Victor Hedman, sitting on the bench for Sweden, at the Olympics when he's not even playing, just because that's what you want. You just at least would like to have those players around you, and to not only have him around, but to have him be able to play and perform and the way that he can. It makes the difference in also not just how I think Vegas approaches the game, but then it changes how they've got to defend in Colorado, and how that's another weapon coming out. And you look at what's already coming from Jack Eichel, who's just fantastic in this playoffs. And so he's, tough enough. And then you've got Marner and you've got these other great skaters, but to bring Stone back in, I think on and off the bench, it just makes such a difference. And, the last thing you need is for Vegas to be getting healthier, be getting better at this point. So, I think Colorado, if they're, I don't think famous last words, I don't think they can come back in this series. Yeah. But if they want to win at least 1 or 2, they're going to have to do a much better job, I think, of just supporting one another. Because I'm sorry, but your game is not going to magically change in the next 24 hours. So don't think about finding another level. Think about doing better at the level that you already are.
Yeah. What have you thought about Vegas's back end? Really, they're going with 4D here with Coughlin and Korczak being, about 10-minute, 11-minute guys. But that back end has just been pretty solid and consistent for them.
Yeah, I felt that there has been some good consistency for them defensively. And I think it's a real luxury when you do have those guys that can carry that many minutes. I think that that's really beneficial for a defense in terms of their consistency. Not that you don't want depth, but I mean, if you're trying to rotate through 7 guys, sometimes that can actually be more of a hindrance because you just like knowing what you're getting. And I think forwards like that, I think goaltenders like that, they can get comfortable, they can get in a rhythm. And it is different, rolling 4 offensive lines versus, rolling out 3.5 pairings when it comes to just that consistency and being able to rely on what you're getting. And that's the biggest thing, I think, with Vegas's defense is you're never questioning sort of, oh man, like what's this shift going to look like for them? Or how are these guys going to match up playing together? It's really, it's been really impressive to just see the way that they've settled in. And it's really, I think, brought out the best in their forward groups and just how Carter Hart's been able to play as well. All around, I think the defense is really like the meat and potatoes of the whole thing for Vegas, and everyone else kind of feeds off that.
What do you think, John Tortorella's? What's he brought here? In the playoffs, and then to close out the regular season. What's different? Like, what has he added to make this Vegas team one win away from a Stanley Cup final appearance?
Well, I think bringing him in signaled something for this team, and there is, in my experience, something to that switch. Really signaling to a team of players that they need to either step it up, they need to play differently, they need a different voice, and you couldn't get two more different, styles, I suppose, than Bruce Cassidy and John Tortorella. So I think what he's done is he just, you talk about presence. There's no one quite like Torts. He doesn't really have, appear even in how he coaches a team and what his expectations are and how he can deliver his message. And I think that's what's working for Vegas, is that they knew what they were as a team. I just don't know that they were getting enough of that kick in the pants, so to speak, from Cassidy, and they needed it. They just needed more, not discipline, I think that's the wrong word, but more of a disciplinarian behind the bench. And that's nothing against Cassidy. He got a lot out of that team during his tenure there. Just this group in particular, not that they were too loose, but they just maybe needed to tighten up a little bit. And that's been what Torts can do, is that, he's a great coach. The X's and the O's part of it. He's going to be able to, but even coming in when he did, it's not like you could really overhaul too much on the hockey side at that point. The Vegas Golden Knights were what they were. But I just think that the disciplinary nature of him and what he demands, it just opens the players' eyes a little bit more to, okay, here we go. And I think Jack Eichel's a great example. Not that he didn't play well under Cassidy, but he's really seemed to thrive as things have gone on here. And I think he responds well to coaching the way that Torts does. So I think it was the move for Vegas, but even if maybe one we didn't all see coming at the time.
Hey, Kristen, thanks so much for your time this morning. Really appreciate it. Enjoy the rest of the Stanley Cup playoffs, and I'm sure we'll talk soon. Thanks for coming on as always.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
That's Kristen Shilton, the NHL on ESPN. And our game of the day brought to you by St. Albert Dodge, where, again, the 2026 Ram 2500 Black Express packages are in stock right now. Check them out at stalbertdodge.com. When we come back, we'll wrap up the show. Kevin Karius, Duke of Delburne, Josh Fenwick on Sports 1440 AM radio. We're streaming on YouTube, X, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitch.
Getting your vehicle sparkling clean doesn't have to cost a fortune. Take it into Hughes today and pay just loonies a wash.
Find us at HughesCarWash.com. Our new McCafe crafted sodas just drinks or something more? Like Sprite Berry Bliss, Creamy Strawberry Coke, and Orange Dream. All swirled with fizzy flavor and topped with silky cold foam. Only at McDonald's. At participating McDonald's restaurants in Canada.
Legacy Heating and Cooling jingle auditions take one for Gene Principe. Hey, thanks for being on time.
I'm always punctual. Now, how about some cool beats while I drop the heat?
Ready when you are.
Tall legacy, tall legacy.
Nice.
Boom! I'm a musical genius.
Legacy's going to love this for AC season.
What's not to love with no interest and no Principe payments for 1 year?
Are you always like this?
Yep. Unlike Legacy, I never know when to cool it.
Legacy Heating and Cooling.
The Brick is thrilled to introduce the new exclusive Shaquille O'Neal home lineup of furniture. Each piece features premium Shaq-heated memory foam for exceptional comfort, made to be lived in and loved for years. Each piece is built on a strong hardwood frame, offering sturdy comfort day after day. Head to any Brick location and snap a photo with Shaquille O'Neal. A life-size Shaq is waiting in store. Scan the QR code and upload your pic for a chance to win one of 4 Shaquille O'Neal home pieces. Exclusively at The Brick, saving you more.
Your all-access pass to the world of sports is Edmonton's only sports radio station.
From pre- and post-game hockey shows to in-depth analysis from your favorite commentators, the action never stops on Sports 1440.
Fuel prices got you down?
Subaru's here to pick you up. Subaru's electric and hybrid vehicles will save the day, helping you go further for less. Prefer a gas vehicle? Subaru Crosstrek and Impreza are built to keep costs low without sacrificing capability. Crosstrek was named 2025 Auto Trader Best Subcompact SUV, and Impreza has earned top safety pick recognition for 17 years running. Welcome to Uncommon. Welcome to Subaru. Visit Subaru.ca.
Your next great family adventure is just a raffle ticket away. Enter the Alberta Foster and Kinship Association's Great Family Adventure Raffle for your chance to win incredible prizes, including the first prize, a Sea-Doo pontoon cruise boat worth over $70,000. Every ticket sold helps provide vital resources to the everyday heroes raising children through some of life's hardest circumstances. Buy your tickets before the live draw on June 5th. Get yours at rafflebox.ca/raffle/the Great Family Adventure Raffle. License number 766115. Open to Alberta residents 18 plus only.
At Metal Supermarkets, they're all about value added. In addition to a warehouse bursting with steel, aluminum, all the good stuff, and cut fast, they offer a ton of value-added services. Metal bending, drilling, punching, notching, welding, and back hair waxing. Oh, sorry, I meant plasma cutting. Anybody seen my glasses? Metal Supermarkets, the convenience stores for... And value-added options, too, even delivery. Southside, West End, metalsupermarkets.com.
Your game, your station. Sports 1440.
And watch us on YouTube, Facebook, and X.
All right, welcome back to the big program. 1043 in Edmonton. Kevin Karius, Duke of Delburne, Josh Fenwick with you here on Sports 1440 AM radio. I saw a little repost from Sports 1440 about the Edmonton Oil Kings winning the Memorial Cup 12 years ago today, Duke. 12 years ago today. How many players still do you think are in the NHL off this team?
Oh, good question. Okay, well, number one, Curtis Lazar.
Yep.
Now I get crossed up sometimes here about which goalie was the starter for that team, but I believe it was Tristan Jarry.
Yes, so that's two.
Was Brossoit on the team?
No, but he was before.
He was the previous.
That was the
kind of cycle
2 years earlier.
Right. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Outside of that, I'm trying to run down the list, and there's some names that I watching that group at the time, I was like, wow, these guys are surefire, and they never quite really panned out.
Mm-hmm.
Primarily Griffin Reinhart.
Correct.
And I mean, he's top 5 pick, so I don't think I was the only one that thought that. But no, that might be the extent of the names that I could list off the top of my head that are still playing their trade.
You're pretty well bang on there. There's, a couple other guys like say Dyson Mayo.
Yes.
Okay. Dyson Mayo played 3 games with Columbus this past year.
Oh,
he
good for him.
Played in Arizona 5 years ago and had actually a decent season, but he's been in the American Hockey League here for a number of years, but did play 3 games with Columbus this year. Other than that, when I'm just going through the list too, Henrik Samuelsson.
That was one of the guys where I'm talking about, like, watching him, I thought he would be like he could just shoot the puck so well.
I don't know if he ate his way out of the league or whatever, but he was a big guy.
Yeah.
He was a number 27th overall first round draft pick of the Phoenix Coyotes, and only played 3 games in the NHL. That's it. And I think his last year pro was 5 years ago in Manchester overseas. So, he just didn't pan out. And the other guy, Duke, I was sure that I thought he would, and then he had some injuries too. He was another big guy between Samuelsson and then this is the guy, Mitch Moroz.
Right.
And I knew Mitch's uncle, Al, because I played junior with him in Melville. And he was Mitch was a big 6'3", 220.
That's a load.
But again, so he was a number 32 overall draft pick, second round by the Oilers, just never panned out. Ended up going to Bakersfield for 2 seasons. And then I believe he was traded from the Oilers to Arizona for Henrik Samuelsson, which is sort of ironic, is it not? But also on the team, I mean, in this picture too, and I don't know if you remember this, Duke, the picture that was sent out, I believe was, Connor or someone did it. Curtis Lazar is in the picture, and he's got the jersey of Christian Pels.
Yeah.
And he passed away. I don't know how old he was. Was he like 17 or 18, something like that? Do you remember that, Duke, or not?
I remember the news of his passing. Yes, I couldn't be able to tell you the year. I don't have quite the memory for
that.
that.
And that was the year prior, I believe. I have to check on that. But anyway, it was a sad, the organization. Derek Laxdal was really good to deal with for the media, I thought. Steve Hamilton was assistant coach then. Now he's in Everett. You think about how he's come 12 years ago, now he's trying for another Memorial Cup in Everett. And also, who else was an assistant coach on that team? Sean Brown.
Brownie.
Yeah, Brownie. So they had a really good Brett Pollock was another guy that was Brett Pollock reminded me of Ryan McLeod a little bit. Just like his speed, and he was quick. He was a bigger body too. And I believe he's playing, let me just check on Brett Pollock. He's playing still in Austria. He played in Slovakia last 3 years, and now he's in Bolzano in Austria this last year. But again, he was a second round pick, 45th overall by the Dallas Stars. Just never gained any traction in that organization. But he was a kind of a good two-way player. Had 30 goals, 30 goals, 32 and 25 for the Oil Kings. So I don't know if many people, I'm sure a lot of people remember that team. They were just such a really, really good team.
And it's funny you kind of bring this up, and obviously it's because of the anniversary of the date for it. But like just watching a couple of the games over the weekend, like going back to the opener on Friday night, and then I was watching the Chicoutimi and Kelowna game last night alongside Vegas and Colorado. And it just, every year the Memorial Cup kind of takes me into this thing. It's like, remember the guys that were on this team that won it, right? And I think depending on what maybe junior team you root for, if they're from your town, you kind of have a lot of those memories of the team every year, certain players. But at the Memorial Cup every season, when it's this congregation of the four of the best teams across the country, even if like the guy, like I think about the one that was in Red Deer 10 years ago when the Rebels hosted it, and like the Brandon team that was there, like Logan Thompson was one of the goalies on the Wheat Kings team. He wasn't a starter. I think it was Jordan Paperny. But like Ivan Provorov was on the blue line there, and John Quenville. He was another. I think he was a first or second round pick. He scored like a between the legs goal on a breakaway at one of the games I was at. And then the London team was one of the best that's ever. Like Dvorak, Kachuk, Marner, Evan Bouchard was a young guy on that team. Tyler Parsons was the goaltender.
I was going to say the goalie was
Ty Parsons was the goalie for that team. And they were just borderline. Like I think it was Ruin Noranda, though they were but I think that's who they played in the final. And they actually gave them a pretty decent run for their money. But yeah, like they just ran roughshod over the whole tournament. So it's a really fun time of year when the Memorial Cup rolls around, because it does kind of send you back into or down memory lane and recollecting some of the great collections of teams that have made it all the way to the tournament, and one team's case every year actually hoisted the trophy.
When I'm looking at this repost, Duke says 12 years ago today, and still the last WHL. Like that blows my mind. That there hasn't been a team that's been able to win the
wild
Memorial
There's
Cup
been some pretty good WHL teams since then, man.
Yeah.
Well, let's look at that Kelowna team that brought in Leon Draisaitl.
Right,
which was like what the next year or 2 years after that. Is they also had brought in Josh Morrissey, also from PA, right? Like that was a loaded Kelowna team, and they just couldn't quite get it done.
No, and you're right. That team was loaded, and you think about how, and we always talk about how cyclical, championship teams are.
Yeah.
And just, you think about all the assets that they had to give up, just to get those players. I mean, that was quite remarkable too. So tonight we got Everett and Kitchener.
Yeah.
You foresee this as like the preview of the final?
I do. I've seen each team play at least one game so far. And like we always know it to be the case with the host team that they come in usually as the fourth ranked of the group, but sometimes that plays in their favor that they haven't played in a couple weeks. They're healthed up. They can kind of start to do some pre-scouting a lot longer because they've got the runway in. Like we saw Saginaw win it as the host nation last year, despite not really having the same pedigree as some of the other teams. So Kelowna, they're a good club. I love their physicality. That's a lot of fun. But yeah, I think from what I've seen so far, Everett and Kitchener pretty clearly the two best teams here. And it might be a little bit of a sour taste for Oilers fans seeing Sam O'Reilly, OHL MVP, OHL playoff MVP, and now Kitchener, I think, is a pretty clear-cut favorite to win it all here in Kelowna this week.
Yeah, so Chicoutimi beat Kelowna in overtime, so that was a killer. Because
it was a great game.
Yeah, and Kitchener beat Kelowna to open up the tournament last week, 5-0. Everett defeated Chicoutimi 5-3, so we got Everett, Kitchener tonight, and then tomorrow is Chicoutimi and Kitchener, and then the round robin wraps up on the 27th with Kelowna and Everett. You never know too, like with these teams that like Kelowna's had a month off, a little over a month.
Yeah.
Right? So you're going to be refreshed, and maybe it just takes you a little while to get going. But
and that's kind of the what makes the tournament an extra element of fun too, is that you essentially just, as long as you don't finish, like you just need to win one game, and then if you're hitting your stride later in the week, that still gives you a chance. Now, unfortunately, at 0-2, well, I guess 0-2-1, they haven't given themselves the best chance, but. Listen, it's not totally off the table for them to grab that third place or even better, I suppose, and still find their way into a semifinal. So,
Kelowna was the only team to beat Everett before they got to the final in Prince Albert, right? Because it was they swept Portland, and swept Penticton, correct? Yeah, and it was a 4-1 series.
That's right.
Against Kelowna, and then obviously, PA just beat them once too. So Everett technically has only lost the 2 games in the playoffs and have yet to lose here just in the one game at the Memorial Cup. So, I mean, they got a hell of a team. They have a hell of a team for sure. So looking forward to seeing that game tonight too, for sure. The Edmonton Riverhawks get things going this Friday. It's going to be a great night for sports in our town. You got the game at Commonwealth. There's probably if Eddie's right on the attendance at Clark, 6,500 ballpark, like there could be more people at
the baseball game
at Remax Field.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Like
it could be more.
It holds what, 9?
Yeah, it's 9. Depending on anything.
And I know we were talking like the next couple of days here look pretty cheeky after a great weekend, but the forecast from kind of Wednesday into the weekend is not nearly as favorable for an outdoor sporting event. So I wonder if that might at all affect numbers. Like I think the Clark game will sell out regardless, just because it is. Limited and such a hard ticket to come by here. We know that usually the opener for the Riverhawks will sell out, but if it's a rainy night at the ballpark, maybe that won't necessarily be the case.
What are we looking it looks pretty good on Friday. I don't know. Yeah. Maybe some showers on Thursday, or you guys were talking about the forecast here. So we'll see. Well, I mean, I'm looking at the Environment Canada one there.
Yeah, I've got 60%, still a high at 26, but 60% chance of showers, which do look like they'd probably come in the evening. Chance of thunderstorm too. So
coming up at the top of the hour, it is
Fantasy Frenzy
with the former Ross Shep T-Bird,
Connor Halley,
and the Duke of Delburne. We've also got the lowdown with Alan Mitchell from 12 to 2. Jason Gregor drives us home from 2 to 6. We'll join Blue Jays baseball in progress as they kick off their series with Miami. They first pitch for that game was just after 5, so we'll get to about the third inning or so. Fox Sports the rest of the night, and we'll be back with you tomorrow. Laddie's in tomorrow, correct? Laddie's in tomorrow because he's off Thursday, so we'll have Ladislav Schmid in tomorrow. Before all that, time now for a Sports 1440 update brought to you by Sean Cunningham of Remax Real Estate. Get the home team advantage for your next move in the Edmonton area. If you are thinking about buying or selling a home, call or text Sean directly at 780-265-0165. Hey, thanks everyone for listening this morning. Really appreciate it. Thanks for the great texts and the interaction. We could not do the show without you. Hope you have a rest of a wonderful Monday. We'll see you back here tomorrow morning at 7 Bills. Until then, here is the Duke.
The Sports 1440 update.
NHL's Eastern Conference Final resuming action tonight as the series shifts to Montreal for game number 3. Tied at 1 apiece between the Canadiens and the Carolina Hurricanes. Puck drop coming just after 6 o'clock from the Bell Center. Memorial Cup continuing from Kelowna with the Kitchener Rangers OHL champions taking on the WHL champ Everett Silvertips. Both teams 1-0 so far in the tourney. Gets underway just after 7. And the IIHF World Hockey Championship group play continues this morning from Switzerland. Norway upsetting the Czechs 4-1 to move to second place in the group behind only Team Canada. And the United States took care of business beating Hungary 7-3. Still to come, Germany playing Great Britain, and Slovenia will take on Italy. On the hardwood, game number 4 of the Eastern Conference NBA Finals. Cleveland tries to keep their season alive when they host the New York Knicks, who are trying to punch their ticket back to the NBA Finals for the first time since 1999. Tip-off just after 6 from Ohio. And in the majors, the Toronto Blue Jays open up a new set against the Marlins. First pitch just after 5 o'clock. Trey Savage on the hill for Toronto. You can catch that game right here on Sports 1440, joined in progress at the conclusion of the Jason Gregor Show. Around the rest of baseball, it's Memorial Day south of the border, so plenty of day games, including the Cubbies and Pirates, Tampa Bay and Baltimore, both those getting underway just after 11:30. And later on, Houston will play Texas, and Seattle heads down the coast to take on the Athletics. From the clay at Roland Garros, still waiting on the game first-round matchup for Canadian Leylah Annie Fernandez to get underway, now scheduled for just after the top of this hour. Coming up on Sports 1440, it is Fantasy Frenzy with Hallie and Douglas. I'm Brandon Douglas at your Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440 in West Edmonton Mall and